Good morning. Happy Monday. It's actually afternoon. Might be morning where you are. 12:15 p.m. Eastern time here in Asheville, North Carolina. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Hope you're having a great start to the week. We got a bunch of work to do today. We got a whole bunch of orders to ship out from the last 48 hours. The last time I shipped was Saturday at noontime. And so that means we got everything since Saturday at noon that sold. So 48 hours of sales. Pretty solid weekend of sales. No complaints for me. Some really good ones today too, some like high dollar stuff that you'll want to see. So if you're just jumping in, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how your weekend was. Let me know down below in the chat. Remember, all of these lives are always available as a replay. As soon as I hit end on this live here in about an hour or so, you can rewatch this live on replay. And if you are watching the replay or live, thank you for watching. But if you're watching the replay, just let me know by writing ship down below in the chat, SHIP, because that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to ship out all these orders, eBay, Poshmark, and Amazon going out. No Mercari this weekend. Let's get to work. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're new to the channel or if you're new to this live, this is just another opportunity for me to give you a good, honest glimpse into my home business here. That I ran out of the house here for 7 years. It's all out of this space that we're in now, which is the second bedroom of our home, and also our one-car garage, which is turned into a mini warehouse of sorts. So welcome in. Say hello down below in the chat. Who do we got in the house? We got Jose. What's up, brother? How are you? We got Sophia just jumping right in and telling me what to do. I like your style, Sophia. Sophia is the boss. Just for a moment here, we'll start with Poshmark first. One Poshmark order today. Very interesting weekend. And it's funny because I think it was Saturday when I shipped. I had more Poshmark sales than eBay sales. How about that? Morning from snow-covered Valparaiso. How much snow did you get up there, Debbie? How much snow? Abbotsville, South Carolina, about 2 hours from you. Cold here. It's cold. Yeah, it's cold up here. Yeah, you're not far at all. Welcome in. Welcome in. Vintage Thrift is in on Instagram. Welcome. Say hello if you're just popping in. Love to hear from you. Love to hear about your sales. How's your weekend? All that stuff. We had an awesome weekend. The weather was actually really great. Yesterday we were hiking in the afternoon. It was like 68 degrees. Kim was hiking in a tank top. I had a t-shirt on. It was beautiful. And as soon as that sun went down, boy, it started getting cold. It is with wind chill. It's 19 degrees right now. We've already had our high for the day, which I think the actual like high temperature, like not the real feel, but the actual real temperature, I think it's going to be 36. We've already had that. It's going to get colder as the day goes on, which is kind of crazy. Great sales on Poshmark over the weekend. Nice, Donna. I love to hear that. Good morning to you too. Welcome in. Vintage Thrift, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. How was the weekend? You have some good sales? I'd love to hear about those big sales or quick sales or cool stuff that you found over the weekend. I'd love to hear about that stuff. All right, Sophia said that we are going to start with Poshmark, and when Sophia tells us what to do, we just freaking do it. So let's go. Second cup of coffee here, ripping and roaring. I'm still doing iced coffee, even though it's cold out. I go back and forth between the hot and the ice, even in the wintertime. Same thing in the summer. I'll go back and forth between hot and ice, even if it's like really hot out. It's kind of crazy. I'm just weird like that. Hello from Allentown. Welcome in. All right, let's get cracking. So our one Poshmark order, then we get a whole bunch of eBay and a couple of Amazon. So this is going out to Lance. This is a great sale. Took 3 days to sell. It is a pair of Brooks Brothers wool pants. And please get those questions down below in the chat. That's my favorite part about doing these lives. These lives are for you, a good, honest glimpse of my business. Hopefully you learned something, whatever. I was going to show you the tag. You're not going to be able to see the tag on it. It's buried in there. Brooks Brothers 346, which is 346 is their factory line. I sell a lot of stuff from their factory line. The more important thing on here is that this is 100% wool, and look at that herringbone pattern, which is very in style, very classic, but also very, very in style right now. I knew these would be a quick seller. Even though they were Brooks Brothers 346, it's the wool, it's the pattern. Sold on the best offer, $26. They took 3 days to sell. I had them listed at $29.99 and accepted that. What did I say? Yeah, 26. So I had them listed at $30 on Poshmark, and they sold for 26. Went back and forth with that customer. I'm going to use one of these things. I got so many of these Ground Advantage free poly mailers. I got 6 cases of them. I'm still working on the first case. I want to get rid of them. So thank you, Lance. Great sale right there. I paid $5 for those at a thrift store. I just bought those maybe a week ago and listed them 3 days ago. So nice quick sale. That's a great example of like knowing the right stuff to look for from Brooks Brothers. Not everything from Brooks Brothers is going to sell quickly for 26 bucks. But if you start figuring out those like little things to look for, like wool and herringbone, you'll start making more money with that brand. It's one of my best selling brands in terms of volume because you find Brook has been around a long time and you can find it just everywhere. A lot of resellers look over it, especially in the pants section. A lot of resellers don't want to mess around in the pants section. It just takes so long to grind through all those pants, but there's money hanging on the rack. What's up, Brian? Did you get, Randy, did you get snow in Allentown? We're supposed to get like here outside of Asheville, like in the big, like the high peaks, like 5,500 feet up. They're supposed to get like 10 plus inches in some of those cases. Like, so the very, very high peaks of the Smokies and also like the top of Mount Mitchell, which is the highest mountain east of the Rockies, they're probably going to get 10 plus inches. And was that supposed to be today? I got to look at my weather app. Was that today or was that last night? I think it's supposed to be like tonight is when they're going to get that. Winter storm. Yeah, so winter storm warning above 3,500 feet. We're at about 2,200 feet. So most of the action, all the precipitation and stuff is going to happen above us. So, man, there's a lot of like freeze warnings. They're going to have freeze warnings down here, even upstate South Carolina. But those big inches, 8 to 12 inches, they're saying is like way high elevation stuff. Arctic blast is here through Veterans Day. So I guess that's happening later today. And then we're going to get highs near in the low 60s by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to warm right back up again like yesterday was. So kind of crazy. Good. What do we got here? How to get Sharpie off rubber bottom of shoes. I often use a product called Goo Gone. You can also use rubbing alcohol. You can also use a dry erase marker, like use a dry erase marker. It sounds crazy, but marker over it with dry erase and then wipe it off with a rag. Goof off did not work. Gotcha. Those are a couple other options for you. It's cold. Chemo, what's up, brother? Hand sanitizer. There's another good one for you there too. And if none of those work, you can just Google and you'll probably get like 3 or 4 other ideas from different products you can use. First order's out the door. 1 Poshmark. That's a wrap for Poshmark. But now we got a whole bunch of eBay. So don't go nowhere. We're going to start cooking now. Our best sales are actually going to be last. That's just how they came in. The last 2 sales that came in, one late last night and one this morning, were my best sales of the weekend. And we always go in chronological order. So those will be last. So you're going to have to hang out for those. But first up, we have a Cabela's. Really cool sale here. I don't pick up all Cabela's, but look at this one. Look at the pattern. It's like a Southwestern pattern. Really, really nice. I actually have a Cabela's shirt that's very similar to this one that I was just rocking the other day. And this is called a deerskin soft chamois shirt right here from Cabela's. It's a nice, like heavy, super soft cotton flannel piece right here. Good keywords here: Southwestern, Aztec, and chamois are good keywords here. And flannel, of course, too. So this sold for a full asking price, $26.99. And the buyer is paying $8.95 shipping. How are sales this weekend, y'all? How are sales? I want to hear about it. What you sell? And actually, this is going to be jacket week at Chris at Peak. So I'm going to try to do like maybe all my posts, but as many posts as I possibly can about jackets, because right now, especially with this cold blast coming through, this is what everybody's going to be buying. This is what I've been selling the most of for weeks, is jackets, like big heavy stuff. So if you have some great jacket sales, I want to see those. If you can send me a DM with those. If you're on YouTube, you can send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. But wherever you are, send me DMs, like screenshots of your best jacket sales. I want to blow up my whole channel with y'all's best jacket sales. Because I want people a lot of people think like jackets sell, those sell in December, those sell in January, but like right now is the time for jackets. Let's get some good jacket bolos going on my channel. So just DM me with some screenshots of your best jacket sales, some good bolos. It's just such a great way to teach by sharing your sales with other people, especially your good ones. And it's also like, I just want people to get, I keep hearing like people in my comment section there, when I post a great jacket sale, they'll be like, oh man, I got one like that in my death pile. Or like, oh man, I haven't been listing my jackets yet. I'm like, get those jackets listed. So we're going to make this week all about jackets. So send me those DMs with your best jacket sales. I want to see them. It's like eye candy for me. It's good teaching too. I had awesome garage sales this weekend. The top two were Alden shoes and Frank and Eileen Kane hoodie. Nice. Very nice. Great sales. Great finds right there. $8 each. Plus I gave them my number because they said they have more to sell. Very smart move. Very smart move. I like that. Ours is Lake Effect from Lake Michigan, 6 to 12. Yeesh. Yeesh. What's up, Rudy? Saturday night snow started at 11 p.m. ended 5 p.m. was good, around 47. Oh, Saturday night. I thought you said, I read it as snow. I was like, y'all got snow down there? What the heck? Started 11 p.m. ended 5 a.m. 47 units gone. Y'all did an overnight show. I like it, man. That's awesome. Good results. I didn't know you were on. You were probably, that was after my bedtime. That's awesome. Did you find that there was like a different crowd late night? Like, did you find anything that was like kind of different about it? Like, I don't know. Is there like a theme that you noticed for the late night folks? So 2 sales out the door. We got a whole bunch more. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're just jumping in for the first time, we do this every Monday. Just give you a good, honest glimpse into our business. Monday, we spend a lot of time shipping our orders from the last 2 days. It's usually our busiest days are over the weekend. So yeah, we just come here, we ship all those orders. I show you exactly what sold. I tell you how much I paid for those items. How much they sold for, what my estimated profit's going to be, and all that. That chamois shirt, by the way, $26.99 sale. I paid $5 for it at a thrift store. It's going to be a profit of around, $5. I don't know, like a $16, $17 profit on that piece right there. So solid one right there. I love that. And next up, we got a brand new tags, Levi's. If you haven't hit that like button, that helps me out. It helps get this out to other people. It tells Facebook and YouTube and Instagram that you're having a good time, and it invites more people into the conversation. We like more people in the conversation. So if you haven't tapped the like button, help me out. Hit that button. If you haven't followed or subscribed, we'd appreciate that too. $31.99. Brand new with tags, 559s. This would be what you would consider an in-style model right now, the 559. These are relaxed fit straight. Everyone wants those relaxed fit, those wide leg, those baggy jeans. That Y2K look is in right now. These sold for $31.99. I pick up Levi's jeans retail arbitrage for between $12 and $16. That's the range that I pay for them. I don't know how much I paid for this, but somewhere in that $12 to $16 range. We'll call the average $14. How about that? So we'll say I paid $14 for these. Not a ton of profit here, but just they always sell. Good, consistent seller. Brand new tags, Levi's, and it's like a never-ending supply of them at retail clearance. So these are going out to John. John's in Lowell, North Carolina. These are going just across the state. How about it? To a fellow North Carolinian. Opinion on Sitka pants. They're great. Great seller. Hot brand right now. I don't know. I don't know what more to say. I don't know what more to say on Sitka except for, yeah, they're awesome. Welcome in. Say hello if you haven't said hello. Introduce yourself. Or not. Yes, on average, watchers, buyers constantly higher throughout the show. Gotcha. Cool. That's interesting. So were you still selling stuff at like 5 a.m.? Like you said you signed off at 5 a.m.? Like was the best hour like 4 to 5 a.m.? Like what was your hot hour during that 11 to 5 a.m. time period? I'm kind of curious. Was there a hot hour? Next up is Alex. Brand new without tags. Charles Tyrrett. I don't buy a ton of Charles Tyrrett. You have to really be careful. The sale price on these is really got to be like more like $15 to $19. But this one was brand new without tags, size 16.5, 35, slim fit. I don't know. Had a nice like little stripey pattern to it. Sold for $23.98 on a best offer. $23.98. I don't remember how much I paid for the shirt. I don't remember buying it. I don't know where the heck I found it. New without tags, Charles Tyrrett. I just don't track where I buy items. I have no idea where that came from. Where did I find new without tags, Charles Tyrrett? Maybe at a thrift store. I don't know. Just picked up a pair for $9. Great pickup. Yeah, those sell for a lot of money. They sell fast too. Hello from Chile, Ann Arbor. Go Blue. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, do you use an external spreadsheet for expenses and inventory, or can you track it all in Nifty now? You can track it all in Nifty. So to answer your question, yes, I do use an external spreadsheet, and yes, you can track all that stuff in Nifty. The reason I don't is because I also sell on my own website, chris@peak.com. I also sell on Amazon, which Nifty doesn't connect with Amazon or my website. I also bring in revenue through being a content creator from all the platforms too. So I needed another source to track all those other revenue streams that I have. So I'll show you exactly what I use here. Give me a second. I use what's called the reseller spreadsheet from Jason Hayes, who is a reseller who created this, who's really good with numbers and spreadsheets, and he created this spreadsheet. I'm going to drop the link down below in the chat right there. I'm also going to give you my discount code, which is thanks Chris. You'll get 10% off one of those reseller spreadsheets. He actually just launched the 2026 version of the spreadsheet this week, and it's actually live on the website. I'm seeing it right now. So I'll drop that down there. I'm actually going to do a quick shared screen because I don't talk about this product a lot, and I really should, because this is the spreadsheet I'm looking at right now when I'm looking at all my sales and stuff. But this is Jason's Etsy website, and these are the spreadsheets. So you can see the 25 and the 26 versions are available right now. The one that I recommend for most resellers is the premium spreadsheet, because he has three. He has a basic, a premium, and then he has one that's called the creator, which is specifically for people like me who have like a lot of creator revenue stuff coming in. For most people, it's going to be that premium spreadsheet, $39. You can use that discount code, thanks Chris, and that'll get you a 10% off that. So what is that? You'll save about $4 off that. So you get $35 for that spreadsheet. I've used it for the last 3 years. I'll use it again next year. Absolutely. It is a great product, and you can learn more about it. If you click on the spreadsheet, it's going to have all these different, it's going to walk you exactly what it does, what it doesn't do, all these graphs, charts. You can track your expenses. You can get right down to the nitty gritty on everything. It shows you your daily sales, monthly sales. You can break it down by platform, look at trends, look at all these graphs. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. Is it? Oh, how's it not moving? Am I frozen? What is going on here? Interesting. It's not showing me like when I change the screen. Anyway, the spreadsheet's right there. I use it every freaking day. I mean, it's the thing that my whole business runs through. It's like between Nifty and the spreadsheet is where all my money is tracked. I always have one tab open for the spreadsheet and one tab open. Oh, it's because I clicked on. I got it. Let me show you this again. I messed this up. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to end this share. It opened up a new window, so it didn't share the new window I want. This one open. This one. Here it is. Sorry. I meant to show you this window. It opened up a new tab. So and now there we go. So here you go. Showing you like all the different expenses, daily sales. This is what I thought I was showing you a second ago, but you can look at like monthly trends, daily trends. Look at all this stuff. Compare year over year, all this. So really comprehensive, nice like charts and graphs, good visuals and stuff. So this is the new version, the 2026 that we're flipping through right here. Again, that link is right there. It's always linked at chris@peak.com, but I've been using it for 3 years. Next year will be the 4th year. Big fan of the product. And big fan of the creator of it. Jason Hayes is a good friend of mine and taught me a lot of what I know about reselling. He's taught me 64.3% of what I know about reselling. So smart dude. I use Nifty and still use Jason's spreadsheet to track it. There you go. If you don't know Jason, he has been a reseller full time, I think for 8 years full time. He's had a YouTube channel with great content for, I think, all 8 of those years. So he's kind of a little OG status as a clothing reseller, and also has been making that spreadsheet, which is, I think, really, really well done. And he's got a lot of fans for it. A lot of people come back for more every year, get the same spreadsheet. What's the estimated number of sales per day for clothing? Is it 1 out of 100 items. What's the estimated number of sales per day for clothing? Alicia, I don't know if I'm tracking that question. You might have to rephrase it. It's probably a good question. I'm just not picking it up. I always get confused about STR on clothing. Can you explain it a bit? Number sold over the last 90 days on eBay. Number sold over the last 90 days on eBay. Divide that by the number listed. Multiply that by 100. So on top, sold. On bottom, listed. Multiply by 100, and that's your sell-through rate. It's the same on clothing or anything else. Doesn't matter if it's clothing or any product. You just do the same way. So this is out the door. What was that? That was a Charles Tira. Good questions. Good questions. All right, back to sales here. We got this AFCO. This is the second time that I've sold this, and I literally picked this up, I think 3 weeks ago. I listed it. It sold. It got returned. I listed it. It got back last week. I relisted it, and it sold again already. So in 3 weeks, this has sold twice. It's called the AFCO Reaper sweatshirt. And I'm going to show you a screenshot. Actually, I want to show you this sweatshirt so you can look for it, because it is a pretty unique little piece. Most AFCO is not going to sell this well and get this much money, but there it is. Here we are. So this is the sweatshirt. Nothing fancy, right? But it's got this built-in neck gaiter face mask thing. You can see it kind of pulled up right there. So that, and it's got these little holes in it that you can breathe through. So this is a fishing brand. You can obviously tell that from the logo right there. And you would wear this like on a fishing boat. It got cold. You pull up that face mask and you can still do your fishing stuff. But this sold for $49.50. Really good sell-through rate on these Reapers. AFCO Reaper hoodie. So look for these. It's the first time I've ever found one. And for something to sell twice for $50 within 3 weeks, you know it's got a good sell-through rate. And it's definitely an item to look for, a bolo, if you will. Let's see. How do I get out of this? Close you. Cool. Back to me. I always get so confused, but there is no model number. That's why I'm lost. Most clothing items, you won't find a model number. You'll just have to look up similar items and estimate it. So use good keywords to find that item. You're very rarely going to find like exact comps, and that's where a lot of people get hung up. They want to find exact items. You're just looking for similar items. So if it's a Brooks Brothers shirt, size 15.5, and it's long sleeve and it's cotton, put that in there. If it's non-iron, put that in there too, right? So Brooks Brothers, 15.5, long sleeve, cotton, non-iron, put all those keywords in, do your search, get your calculate your sell-through rate. What's up, Julie? Is it on the title? I'm not sure what that question means. Is it on the title? Sorry, I'm trying to estimate number of items to expect to sell every day. For example, I heard to expect to sell 1 item per day for every 100 clothing in inventory. Yeah, I'd say that's probably, that would be somebody who has like a really high sell-through rate. So if you did 1 per day and you had 100, that would be a monthly 30% sell-through rate, right? So 100 items in inventory, you sell 1 a day, that's 30 sales. So 30 sales divided by 100 in inventory, that would be a 30% monthly sell-through rate. That would be on the high end for clothing resellers. That would be for somebody who's more selective, who's looking for high sell-through rate items specifically. If you're going to be, for most people to go full-time to find enough of those items is difficult. So most full-time resellers are probably going to have a monthly sell-through rate that's probably between 20 and 25%. So 20 would be like a slower month and 25 would be like a better month. So think like July is probably more like 20%. And then October and November is more like 25%. 30% would be an excellent month. But if you're part-time, then, and you can really stick to just higher sell-through rate items, then you might be able to do a 30% monthly sell-through rate, which is what you're describing. 1 item a day on 100 items of inventory would be a 30% monthly sell-through rate, and or a 1% daily sell-through rate. And that would be really good. That's a really good, healthy store. Could you do that full-time? Yeah, maybe if you live in a good area too. that has access to a lot of good inventory, you could probably do it even as a full-timer. But you just got to figure out, just everybody's inventory mix has got to be a little bit different. If you're picking a lot of low and mid sell-through rate items like I do, I'm never going to achieve 30% in a month. I've had some good months that approach 30%, but with the type of inventory that I find and that makes my store work, I'm not gonna get that 1% a day. Maybe when I first started, when I was part-time and I had another income and I didn't have to worry about stocking the store with 70 to 80 new items every single week. But nowadays, between 20 and 25 for a model that's similar to mine. If you are more selective than me, you can probably get better sell-through rates, especially if you have like really good listings and all that stuff too. And if you're promoting and you're cross-listing and you're using automation tools, like all those tricks that we talk about every single day here on this channel. I don't use paying platforms. They pick up at my home. I meet in town or smaller items. Reselling covers my monthly groceries. Nice. Sounds like you got a great little hustle over there. I like it. However, I do have a 53-foot container full of inventory. I'm OG, been doing this since 93 with my father. Nice. Never used eBay. Started at swap meets and Little Nickel, then Craigslist and Marketplace, and I'm making sales daily constantly. Sandra, thank you for sharing about your hustle. That sounds like you got an awesome business over there. Thank you for sharing. OG status too. Yes, I thrifted a gray one. Thanks. I'm going to use your listing for advice on that AFCO. There you go. I listed mine for $55, and both times I ended up selling it for $50. This one was on a Nifty best offer. So Nifty automatically sent the customer a 10% off offer, and they accepted that offer for $49.50. So both times it was a $50 sale. And I had it listed for $55. You're the reason my husband looks for Pronit and cool bolos. I like it, Jamie. Good stuff. I like your husband already. I've been reselling part-time for 1.5 years. In the past 6 months, I have mixed the wrong shipping labels 3 times. I use a thermal printer and print one at a time and then write on the back. What is your process of printing and then placing the correct label? I have on my screen. I can't share it with you because it's got buyers like names and addresses, but I have all my sales right here up on the screen. And so the next one I'm going to ship is Lance, which is this AFCO sweatshirt. So I look, it says Lance. I got AFCO in my hand, right? I get his thank you card, which also says Lance, and I ship. So that's my process. Hope that helps. But yeah, that's probably too many times. I mean, people are going to make mistakes. You should never get upset about, you're not a machine that's going to be perfect 100% of the time. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. It's fine. But to have that mix up happen 3 times in 6 months, that to me, that would be too much. But if it happened 1 time in 6 months, got it. 3 seems like a little much. So you might want to take a peek at your process. What's up, Jack? Good to have you in. Always a pleasure. With the all caps energy, I like it. Print and pack item. Literally a cool sale came through right after I said that. Let's go, Jamie. Nice sale. I like it. Tell us more about the cool sale. I want to hear about it. I pack and label one at a time. There you go. There you go. And I'm doing this and I'm live. I'm talking to you. I'm answering questions. I'm looking out the window like the space cadet that I am. I'm drinking coffee, and I haven't done it 3 times in 6 months. I don't know if I've done it in 6 months, if I've mixed 2 up. I feel like maybe I did 1 this year, but I don't know if I've done 1 even in the last 6 months. And I'm like a goofball shipping all of this stuff out, airhead. I act like I got it all figured out, but I'm on here. I'm talking to you. Jack is bugging me with his all cap stuff. And 7 years I've screwed up 4 to 5 times. Usually when I try and do exactly what, there you go. And I double check things because I'm like a space cadet. Like I'm just naturally like so I just I double check. So I guess it's just kind of built into my process because I just don't trust myself not to make mistakes. Just wanted to say thanks everyone for being here. This is fun. I enjoy chatting with you about reselling. I love talking shop. I love hearing about your business. So I just want to take a minute to share that gratitude with y'all. Thanks for being here. It's fun. And I don't take this lightly that we have 50 people watching me ship orders out of my little office and my little house with my little business. I appreciate y'all being here. It's fun. It's a treat. I never take it for granted. Thanks for the Nifty video. My sales have doubled. Let's go. Doubling your sales from Nifty. Let's drop. That deserves a little Nifty talk, right? I'm going to drop a link down. So Nifty is the tool that I use for cross listing. It's a tool I use for AI listing. So I do all my listing right through Nifty. I take the photos. Nifty writes the description. It writes the item title. And I cross list those items on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. It's also my automation tool. So it gets me extra sales every day from auto offers like this one, that 10% off auto offer. So it is the best tool for cross listing. It's also the best automation tool, and it's also the best AI lister. And all those things are just rolled into one subscription, one monthly payment, and one login. And it just works so seamlessly. So that's what Awning is talking about doubling his or her sales. I'm not sure. I don't want to misgender you. So we'll just say how they doubled their sales, 50% off or 50%. What do you say? Sales are doubled. Yeah. 100% increase in sales. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to drop the link for a free trial of Nifty down below in the chat here for you. This link will get you the free trial for 7 days, no strings attached. If you like it, that link, if you click on that and sign up, you'll also get 15% off your first month if you decide after that 7-day trial that it's a good fit for you. I talk about Nifty every single day because it helps me get extra sales every single day. So for me, not talking about Nifty would be disingenuous because it's my not so secret weapon to really help boost my sales, extra sales every single day. So I just can't say enough about it. I love the platform. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. They have all these different plans too. So if you're just on Poshmark and you're like, I just want the automation tools, I want the share bot, whatever, $25 a month. That's all you got to pay. You'll never have to share another single item. You'll never have to delist and relist another item, and we'll send all your offers for you. So you won't have to send out offers to watchers. It'll do all that stuff for you, and it'll do it faster than you, and it'll do it more than you. It shares my closet 4,000 items in my closet. It shares over 4,000 times a day. And I don't have to click a button. It's full automation. It's hands off, hands free. Your computer can be closed. Your phone could be off. You could be on the top of a mountain like I often am. And that stuff's just happening. It's sharing, it's sending offers, it's making sales. It's delisting and relisting items. Full hands free, no buttons to click automation. That link is down below in the chat. It's always at chris@peak.com. I'm a big fan of it. We've had so many people sign up for it through our link, and they come in and they say stuff like this: my sales have doubled. I mean, that's crazy. Doubled sales. And I don't even doubt it because it sounds like it's out of this world and it's like unachievable and like, oh, only Awning can get those results. But people say it all the time. Yeah, highly recommended, all caps. There you go. Great sales. So anyway, check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, you're thinking about it, you're not sure, it's a free trial. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Just try it. If you like it, you sign up to get the 15% off your first month. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't use it and you come back and you tell me you hated it. But that doesn't happen. I can't think of an example of somebody doing that. Bud had a great sales weekend, 12 sales, 6 on Poshmark, 6 on eBay. That's awesome. All on eBay promoted listings. Yeah, about 69% of my sales are on the promoted listings. 2 big ones, Phone Pants, probably Taylor Stitch, Grayson. Nice weekend. I'm on Nifty, makes life manageable. I didn't even realize that you were going to have a Nifty sales pitch at the end of that, Bud. That's awesome. I'm glad you had a good sales weekend. Yeah, imagine if you didn't have Nifty and you just had the 6 sales. That's still a great weekend, but you'll take 12 over 6 all day, right? 6 and 6. Rocky Mountain High. It works. That's right. I tried Nifty for a weekend. Love it. Mandy over on Instagram. Nifty changed my business. Gigi Daisy's in the house from Connecticut. Gigi, what are you doing today? Shouldn't you be at work? Gigi, shouldn't you be at work? You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm allowed to do that. Hope you're well, Gigi. Thanks everyone for being here. This is fun. Lance, let's ship out Lance's. Lance is like waiting for his AFCO sweatshirt. $49.50 sale right here. He's like, dude, bro, where's my sweatshirt? You're just sitting here talking. I'm gonna get a bigger bag. You're talking, you're flapping your gums. You talk about Nifty. Does Chris talk about Nifty again? What am I supposed to do? It literally sold this product. It sent the buyer, Lance. Lance liked the item on Poshmark. 10 minutes later, Nifty sent them Lance a 10% off offer. You can have it send a 7% offer, a 20% offer, a 15% offer, a 9% offer. I just do 10%. It works. And it gets me extra sales every single day. I think this is our first Nifty best offer that we're shipping out so far today, but there'll be other ones for sure. 69%. Couldn't draw it up at it. It's literally 69. I was going to round it up to 70, but I'm like, yeah, I like being precise. Nifty and hard work is making it happen. Nice, Gigi. But my business is finally what I want it to be. Fran is even working. Are you serious? Fran's working with you too? Does that mean no more drum practice, or are you still getting drum practice? That's awesome. I know you had talked a lot about your business wasn't where it wanted to be. I'm glad that you found, put some things into place to get it up and going. And I know that's more than Nifty. I know you're working really hard on things too. Gigi, I know it's not, listen, Nifty without the hard work, like Gigi said, like just Nifty isn't going to change your game. If you're buying crappy items, you're not pricing them right, your photos suck, Nifty will help a little bit, but it's not going to change your life. If you do all the fundamentals really well, then Nifty can really help you. And you're finding good items, and you're taking good photos, and you're pricing your items well, and you're promoting on eBay, right? The combination of all those things can really be magic. But you're still going to do things right. Like Nifty helps, but if the rest of your game sucks, then you're still going to get you'll get still sucky results. So it'll be like, I don't know, a little less sucky results maybe. Brand new tags, Polo, Ralph Lauren. This is just a normal like polo style shirt, short sleeve, cotton mesh, and it's got the pony on the chest right there. Men's size 3 extra B. I picked up like 6 or 8 of these, all same color. They were all big and tall sizes, so this one's that 3 extra B. I had a 2 extra large tall. I had a 2XB, and then there was a 3 extra large. They were all like big sizes. Some of them I had like multiple quantity of the sizes, but this one sold anyway. 3XB, $53.99. Not huge profit on these, buying them for $25 average price and selling them for $53.99. Might not sound attractive to a lot of you, but it is super attractive to me because multi-quantity listings, say I had 2 of these, it's half the work is selling 2 items. You get the idea, right? 1 listing, quantity 2, 1 round of photos, 1 round of measurements, and you're done. I love multi-quantity stuff. My whole business would be multi-quantity if I could find enough of it consistently. And sometimes I go through seasons where I can get a lot of this stuff, but I build my whole business on it because multi-quantity is so much easier. Even if the margins are a little lower, the dollars per hour are better. It's just the way it is. I love your live. I have Nifty 2 get sales. Nice, Wanda. Appreciate that. Surfs Up Finds. If you're not following Surfs Up Finds, you probably are. Give him a follow. He's watching now on YouTube, but he's on all the platforms. That same name. You can just put. I'll leave him on the screen here for a second. But really transparent reseller. I follow him. I learn stuff from him every single day. I was in his shipping live this morning, taking some notes, also heckling him a little bit too, because that's what you're supposed to do. And but if you haven't followed him on all the platforms, do so. He puts out content every single day. Smart full-time guy, does a lot of volume, and he has a much better sell-through rate than I do too. He picks better stuff. So, and that's the truth. That's the darn truth. Next up is a pair. Where did these go? Oh, here they are. My stuff kind of got a little out of order. When I printed out my bulk shipping labels from eBay today, I had to do it twice because it like errored in the middle. So like the first 11 or 12 labels printed out, but it said an error. So I had to go in and do bulk shipping again for the other 6 of them, or 6 or 7 of them, whatever it was. So kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm a little bit disorganized this morning. That happens to me like it's never happened maybe once before, and then like 3 times in the last 2 months it's happened. And before that, in like years, it might have happened like 1 other time. I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. It doesn't like me. Follow Surfs Up Finds, by the way. What's up, Mariah? Good morning to you. Welcome in. Time to get shopping. Have a great sales day. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate all your positive vibes. Glad you got a cool sale while we were live here. That was awesome. Hope you find some good stuff today. Nifty has made a big difference in the week I've been using it. So Kimberly, you're on it for a week. The listing features are amazing and so streamlined. I enjoy how you keep it real. Thanks. You're welcome, Kimberly. I'm glad that that's helping you make some money and saving you some time too. I love that. I sent Nifty a suggestion to eliminate leaving the SKU box empty when posting. This would eliminate lost inventory and sales cancellations. The savings on not canceling orders would pay for Nifty's cost. I sent Nifty a suggestion to eliminate leaving the SKU box empty when posting. I'm not sure I understand that suggestion. I use the SKU field and I put my custom SKU. I don't know. Please email Nifty and tell them don't let the SKU box be empty when posting. I don't think I understand what you're talking about. I use the SKU box. It's great. I love it. Sophia, what is all these emojis? Dying, surf. Oh yeah, surfs. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Best reselling advice from Gigi Daisy herself. She says, "Never stop learning." That's true. It took 5 years, but never gave up. You're awesome, Gigi. That makes me so happy. I think that's probably the best news that I've gotten so far today. And hopefully that's great news. That'll probably be the best news of the day, that you're just crushing it over there. I love to hear that so much. Glad to listen while I also pack orders. Welcome in, Triple R. Hope you're doing well. Let us know if you got some cool sales over there. You can't hide those. You got to share. We forget to enter in our totes. Then items are lost when they sell. Yeah, but some people aren't going to use the custom SKU field at all, right? Like they're just going to have 20 items that are hanging in their closet and they're going to be selling. So to force them to put in a SKUs, I think would be weird. Awning, I'm going to give you a hard time here for a second. I'm going to give you a hard time. When you say, I keep it real. I praised you when you doubled your sales because of Nifty and all that stuff. But I'm going to say something right now. I'm going to say something, and it's out of respect. Don't forget to enter your tote number in there. That's your problem. Just do it. We don't. So you just got to build it into your rhythm and your system. Maybe just do a double check, right? That's what I would say. So I'm going to send you an email, and my email is going to say, build a system so you don't forget. That would be it. Even if that means scheduling yourself a reminder, every day at noontime or every day at 6 when you're done your work day, to go double check if you put in all your numbers in. Hey, you asked. I keep it real with you. 2 items so far, but from Facebook Marketplace today. Plan is to get eBay rolling. Very slow, but learning. Most important metric in your business, whether you're new, medium, new, half new, kind of new, OG, half OG, doesn't matter. The most important metric is learning. I'm 55. It's easy to get. Hey, I'm 44. I'm with you. I get it. But you just build a system, right? Man, we're having this issue with our business, and it's costing us time or it's costing us money. I got to build in a system to make sure that doesn't happen. Now you're asking Nifty to do that for you. Sure, not a bad idea. But I would say build a system in to protect yourself from wasting your time and your money. You know what I mean? That's your responsibility as a business owner. Technology isn't going to fix everything, but you can solve that. It's easy to solve. You might have already said this, but what percentage do you promote on eBay? 6%, Michaela. How are you? Hope you're having a great day. Can the Nifty work on Facebook Marketplace? It does not work with Facebook Marketplace. It does not. I'll give you the full rundown. It's eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Etsy. That's the platforms that it works for. Good morning, Edward. Good morning to Chris and the gang. We got a gang here. Temps about to drop fast on us here in North Carolina. They already dropped here, Edward. We are yesterday, and we had a late afternoon hike. I think we got off the trail at about 4:00 yesterday, which it sounds like it's not really that late. But now that the sun's freaking, we changed the clocks back or whatever, it's almost sundown. Man, 5:00, we're sitting at the hub in Brevard, having a mountain time lager. That sun went down, and both of us immediately ran to the car to grab our jackets. It just started getting so cold so quick, and we were hiking at 4:00. We're hiking in t-shirts, and Kim had a tank top on, and I had a t-shirt. It was in the 60s. The sun was out. It was just a beautiful, picture perfect fall day. And then an hour later, it was a winter evening, and the wind came in immediately. It was howling wind last night. It got cold here, but we had a beautiful weekend. If you care, I built my inventory code bin storage code into my SKU, so I know where to find the item. I like that Nifty pulls that through to all the platforms. I like that too, and I like your style, Mariah. Nice move. The one thing that frustrates me is that Mercari doesn't have the bin thing. I don't understand, or the SKU thing. I don't understand why they don't have the SKU thing. It doesn't make any sense. It would be such an easy thing to code in. If they asked somebody on their team to add that, it would probably take a senior engineer. It would probably take them I don't know, an hour and a half, and then they'd have to test it and see if it worked. I mean, it couldn't take more than a business day. I don't understand why they don't have it, but I think Mercari's got bigger problems right now than a SKU field, so they're probably focusing on trying to figure that stuff out. But I just don't know. For years, I don't understand why they haven't had it. Nothing exciting going out today, but 14 orders going out thanks to cross-listing. I love it. Boring sales are my favorite. I know I get excited about big dollar sales. We got some big dollar sales coming. This is actually a good one right here. But boring sales pay my bills. So 30, here are the stats. 35% of my sales profit me $20 or more each, 35%. The other 65% profit me between $10 and $19. 65% of my sales are boring sales that make me between $10 and $19. But that's 50. And when it comes to profit, it's 50-50. So that's 65% that are between 10 and 19. That's 50% of my profits at the end of the month or the week or the day. And then the 35% that are 20 plus is 50% of my profits. So I love them equally, the big and small ones, because the profit is literally a 50-50 split. Sometimes it's 49 to 51. Sometimes it's 53 to 47. You get it, right? But about half of my sales are small sales that add up to 50% of my profits. It's kind of crazy, right? 50% of my profits are from 65% of my sales that are the small ones. Did you share an email? Do you share an email with your listeners? I always have my email. If you want to communicate via email, is on my website. If you go to chris@peak.com or you go to the profile, you'll find it. I don't do a ton of email communication, though. It's not my favorite venue. Yeah, I'm good at missing emails and all that stuff, but you can email. I have a big idea of reselling project, and I'm looking for a collaboration. Nice, Vimari. I hope you find some collaboration. That's cool. Gigi Daisy, sorry I missed your last one. I keep hitting the button. I keep going out. Well, you are my OG, and you and Jason, I still watch all your thrift videos. Thanks, Gigi. You are still a large part of how well I'm doing. Well, thank you for sharing that. But I respect that. But I know it's your hustle, and you kind of like trying things, bumping your knee, stubbing your toe, learning from it, reevaluating, trying new things. But I appreciate you watching and learning from our channels too. But I know that you're working hard over there. Let's see. I have a good idea to build a company on resale and looking for someone to start. Nice. That's awesome. I hope you find somebody to help you with that. If you leave the description box empty when posting on eBay, it won't let you post the item. Yeah, we need that for the SKU box on Nifty. You could allow the user to check a box to bypass. Yeah, sounds like, I don't care about it. I've listed over 3,000 items this year using Nifty. I have forgot to put the bin number in, I think 0 times. I don't know. Maybe there's one time that it happened. I don't remember if it did. So again, I'm not going to email them about that because it's not a problem for my business. But if it's a problem for your business, then email it to them. Are you interested? No, I'm not interested. But thank you for the offer of Amari. So we got a sale here. Peter Millar corduroy pants right here. These are called the Superior Soft Cords. How do I know that? There's a style number on the inside. Right next to the materials tag, there's a small little tag and it will say style number. I Googled Peter Millar and put in that style number, and then I find like the Peter Millar website that they're selling Superior Soft Cords. So I use that same exact item title that they use on Peter Millar's website. I put that into my eBay title because I'm hoping that my favorite customers are going to find it. And my favorite customers are people who are looking at the Peter Millar website, or they're Googling other retailers to find this pair of pants for a good price, and they want the best price. And they're seeing these listed for $120 on that website. My eBay listing shows up in the Google results. That person clicks on it. They're like, they're in excellent used condition. They look good photos. Looks like a professional seller. His photos are nice. He's got a nice detailed description. There's measurements there for me. Trustworthy seller. So a buyer who's probably going to buy this item new because that's what they're looking for. They're like, man, $32.99 is a whole lot better, like $80 better, right, than $120. So I get that buyer, full price buyer, no back and forth, no like a whole bunch of questions, like, annoying eBay buyer. This is a full price buyer, someone who's looking for new, and they come and buy it off my website. And I think I get that oftentimes because I take that extra step. I look up the style name from the style number, And that's how I get that full price customers. These are the best customers. No haggling, no BS, no 1,000 questions. It's just, yeah, these are the best to me. $32.99. I paid $5 for these Peter Millar cords at the thrift store. My profit here is probably going to be about 22-ish bucks, 21-ish bucks. So this would be one of the items. It's like 35% of my sales. That makes me more than $20 in profit. I like the big sales too. Don't get me wrong. I like those. I just can't find as many of them. So I fill up my store with lower profit stuff that I can find really consistently. And we built a system around it. This is going to David. David's in Mayfield, Kentucky, getting himself a pair of corduroy pants. Nothing says fall quite like a pair of corduroy pants, and maybe like a flannel shirt to go with that too. What are your favorite hard good categories to pick up? I've started incorporating hard goods over the past 6 months instead of just clothing, shoes, and I'm glad how much they're adding to my yearly sales. That's awesome. What types of hard goods are you picking up? I don't pick up a lot of hard goods. I'm shipping out 0 hard goods today, which is usually pretty average. If I do pick up hard goods, it's probably because I've been going to garage sales, and it's probably because I'm looking for vintage audio, video games, golf clubs, sporting goods. But I don't buy and sell a lot of that stuff anymore. I used to be more like 50-50 clothing, like clothing, shoes would be 50%, and then hard goods would be 50%. I mean, I would pick up collectibles, lots of sporting goods, all kinds of like little knickknacks and stuff, glassware, mugs. But I don't really do that anymore. I've really built, as when we moved up here to Asheville, I just really like hunkered down and really got narrowly focused on clothing, build a system for it. My storage works for it. My listing setup and process works for it. My shipping process works for it. When I have to ship like big, heavy things, I cry like a little girl because I got to resize boxes and all this rigmarole. Now it's worth it. Like I sold a backpack like last week, and it took me like 15 minutes to ship one backpack. And I was like, man, this sucks. But it was good profit, so it's fine. But I don't do a lot of hard goods anymore. And that's just, everyone makes their own business decisions for different reasons, but that's why I made mine. Off topic, what is the best sweater shaver to go invest in? I have one linked in my, I don't know if this is the best one. It's not like I haven't done like a trial of like, here are the 7 leading fabric shavers, and I'm going to put them to a test. I haven't done that. But I do have one, and I've had this particular one for, I don't know, a couple of years, maybe a couple of 3. I'm not sure. It's called the Buterol. I have it linked in that. I just dropped the link to all our recommended reseller supplies. The stuff that I use and works for me, I drop down there. But to be honest with you, like I don't know if this is great. The reason I picked it, it was probably a really good value and the reviews were probably good. So that's all I didn't do a lot of research on this. It's probably like I don't know, what is this, like a $10 tool or something? So I probably didn't devote more than $10 worth of research into it, but it works. And I dig it. It shaves. I don't know. Can we shave something? I don't think this is like a knit flannel, so it doesn't really like pill. I don't have anything to shave. Probably my face, but I don't know if this would feel good. Do you price at the lowest price acceptable to get quick flips? It depends on the item. If it's a low sell-through rate item, meaning there's more supply than there is demand, then I'm probably going to price lower in the market and be more aggressive. But if it's a high sell-through rate item, so there's more demand than supply, then I'm probably going to price it higher in the market because I promote. So I'm going to show up higher in search results. I cross-list on multiple platforms, and I probably have better photos than some of the people that are showing up in the search results above and below me. So I can price a little bit higher on some of those things because of those reasons. So the answer is, well, it depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Any video showing your techniques for finding great clothing at the thrift stores? I can't. YouTube should. Any videos? Yeah, I have years of content. Like 95% of my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok is me in thrift stores finding items. And I show you exactly what I find and how much they sell for. So that's like literally like probably 95% of my content is that. So if you're on YouTube, there's long format, there's shorts, all about that. So absolutely tons of that stuff. For profit, that is when I mean lowest acceptable. I think I answered your question. Another off topic. Do you use a PO box? I don't. That's just a preference. Some people, you could use a PO box. I like working out of the house. I don't want to go to the post office. I'm only 9 days into reselling with 7 sales, which were all hard goods. I'm still new and learning. Thanks for your tips and info. Nice. 9 days in and you got 7 sales already. Let's go, Ashley. That is awesome. Congratulations to you. Welcome. Do you provide training, meaning how-tos? Yeah, I don't do like any like pay to play sort of stuff. I just share a bunch of free content. Why do I still have this fabric shaver? Whose fault was this? Why is this in my hand? Gigi says, are you going to continue to promote on eBay with the changes coming in January? I plan to. Yes, I do. I plan to. Um, I tend not to. I tend to be like a. I tend to steer my business, Gigi, and you probably know this, more like a ship, like a big ship. I don't really like. I don't drive it like a Ferrari. So I'm, big ship. You make changes. It's slowly, slowly go. And a Lamborghini, right? You cut the wheel and you can do a 180, spin that thing out. You can make like really quick changes. I tend to be like kind of slow, like a ship, right? And see what happens. So I'll be on there for 90 days after they make that change, and I'll evaluate what's going on with my business. And if I need to change course a little bit and adjust, I'll change course a little bit. But generally speaking, like a lot of the things I do, I know they work, they're tried and true. If I have to make little tweaks on the outside here and there, I make them slowly, I make them deliberately, and I give them time to breathe. You can test something for a week or a day or even a month, and you're not really sure exactly how it's impacting your business. It takes some time. So that's the way I do things. But I suspect that I'm not going to really have to change anything when it comes to that. Just had a Posh sale. Nice, Julie. You got to tell us what sold. You can't just do that. Would you? I don't. No, I don't do any pay to play stuff. It's easier for me to create stuff for free for everybody than to charge somebody one-on-one a lot of money to do something. I was a professional coach, a career coach for a decade before this, and I had my own practice for like 4 or 5 of those years. And I charged people $160 an hour to meet with me. If I was still doing it now, I would charge them a lot more because I'd be further in, more years into the business. But $160 an hour is a lot for people to pay, and I'm only helping one person with that 160. I'd rather create content for free, like this, being live, and we have 48 people on YouTube and Facebook, and another 4 people over on Instagram. So that's 52 people that can receive the message, and they're getting, and nobody has to pay a penny for it, right? So I like that better. What are the main changes coming and affecting? So they're changing. I did a post about it recently. I don't want to dig too deeply into it, and there's a lot of information out there on the internet, but I'll just give you a quick overview. eBay is changing their definition for attribution for promotion fees. So it used to be that only a buyer who clicked on your promoted list. Every time you promote, there's 2 listings created on eBay. One is promoted and one is organic. If they click on the promoted one, they pay the fee. Or you pay the promotion fee. If they click on the regular listing, right, that's probably further on down in the search results, then you don't pay the promoted fee. Starting in January, I believe it's the 15th or the 13th, one of those days, the 10th something. They're going to make it so if anybody clicked on your promoted listing, then no matter what, that's going to sell as a promoted listing. Even if it's another buyer who bought it through your second listing, it's unpromoted. That's the change that they're making. So that's the gist of it right there. So you're basically going to have to expect that every item that you list, that you promote, probably 99.99% of them, you're going to pay the promoted fee for. So it's going to be a little bit more on fees. I did a post recently, like last week. It says it says big eBay changes. So if you go back on my Facebook and you scroll down, it has some more details about it. I described exactly how it would impact my business. I did some math with it, showing like I promote at 6%. This is how much extra it will cost me for a month. So if you want to get more into details of that, check out that post. It was probably, I don't know, a week and a half ago. You'll find it though if you scroll back. It says like eBay news. It's it's a photo post with a big caption. You'll find it. Do you have a lot of product knowledge, or do you have a prompt for your Meta glasses that can scan products you're looking at? The Meta glasses do nothing except for record. It does some other things, like it will read me my texts and stuff like that. Why am I still holding this fabric shaver? but they don't give me any advantages to reselling. It's simply they're on my face to record what I'm seeing. It's not giving me any information about the item. I am looking up items on eBay to see what they're worth, or I already know those products and have sold them dozens of times in a lot of scenarios, or hundreds of times. So it's just accumulation of knowledge from doing this business for 7 years and being full time in it for 5 years. But I learn every day. I look up stuff at the thrift store every single day. I'm going to say what I like about his YouTube videos is you actually watch him, you see him showing with his hands where he looks for possible problems. Chris does not always say, but if you watch him, you will see. There you go. Thanks, Edward. I appreciate that. Always kind words from Edward. Sold Vermont Flannel Company leggings. Nice, Julie. Thanks for sharing that. The flat $3 per sale on Posh for items under 15 is such a turnoff. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't peddle a lot of items that are under $15, so it doesn't really impact my business much because typically I'm paying I don't do a lot of the bins. Lately, I haven't been doing a lot of garage sales and where you can get stuff for really cheap. So my buy cost is typically $5 and up. So for me to be selling a lot of items below $15, I'd be operating at really, really thin margins. So that doesn't really impact my business so much, but I can understand how that could impact other businesses for sure. I get it. I feel you. How do you stay on top of your inventory accurately? I don't know exactly what you're asking. I sort of get how do you stay on top of it? I don't know. I guess I actually don't know what you mean by that question. Just let me know. Maybe I just need more context. What do you really want to know? What's the best feature for Nifty for you? I think the thing that makes me the most money is the automation, but I don't know if I could say that there's one feature. To me, it's the fact that it does all of the things, right? I used to pay for a cross lister and then I paid for automation tools, right? And at the time there was no AI listing, right? But I paid separately for 2 different subscriptions to 2 different companies, right? And had 2 separate logins and all that stuff. And then Nifty came out with their cross lister. They've been doing automation for years. Then they added a cross lister. So now it's one login, cross listing, automation together. Beautiful. One subscription, 1 month, one login, one thing to check. Awesome, right? And then they added AI listing tools, which didn't previously exist. That's kind of AI is all this new stuff. So all 3 of those things built into one sign-on, one monthly subscription, and one thing to learn, right? When you have all these, I'm old, I'm 44, right? So trying to learn all these different platforms and, it's hard, I'll be honest with you. I'm not these 12-year-olds, they can juggle between 75. I work for a tech company, my last job, before this. And man, all these people were young. Most of the people, my coworkers, were in their their mid 20s. And we had all this technology. I had to learn how to use all these different softwares and stuff that I'd never even heard of before. And I think there's something to be said for just one platform. It does 3 things. And it's I just had to learn that one platform. I just have to log into that one thing, one less, and it just works, So to me, that's the best thing about Nifty. It's just all in one. If I had to pick one thing, sorry. I love all the features equally. Sorry, on lunch at work and barely get to catch your lives. I appreciate you being here. I love all the questions. Keep them coming. It's good stuff. Do you verify inventory to make sure everything is accurate periodically? I don't. Jason Hayes, who's somebody I talk to every day, who's a really good reseller that you should be following too, or I suggest that you follow. I learn a lot from him. He's really on top of all that stuff. He is very y'all think I'm organized. You got to see Jason Hayes. I mean, this guy is organized. He's really got things dialed. But he was just texting with me the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I just went through all my bins, and I was, confirming everything's in there." I was like, "I don't do that, man." I'm like, I don't do. I probably last did that 3 years ago when I moved up here. Should I do it? Yeah, probably. Am I going to do it? I don't know. Maybe. I just don't feel like doing it right now. I just trust the system. I'm careful. I try to execute really cleanly and try to make as few mistakes as possible and just hope for the best, I guess. Is that the right way to do things? I don't know. It's the way I do things. Emotional support fabric shaper. There you go. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It's what are those things the little pop things that people use? Kids were using it's a little square thing and you pop things. And I guess that's supposed to be, I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. So I kind of feel like I expect all my items to sell through promoted, and I'm going to pay a certain amount anyway. So in theory, it really doesn't change anything on my end. There you go. Yeah, for me, I forget what the math is. It was going to cost me like 150 extra bucks a month on my estimation or something like that, because 69% of my items sell through promoted listings and 31% sell through non-promoted listings, organic listings, right? Um, I promise my last question. You can ask as many questions as you want. It's all good. Hats worth thrifting. I see your videos and you make it work. Anything specific in hats other than brands we should look for? Do the brands even matter? And are they quick flips to sit? M. Scott, this is going to be the same answer for a lot of questions that are like this, right? There's no like, this is what you have to pick up for hats, just like the same is true for shirts or ties or pants or jeans or corduroys, right? You got to look up what you find, right? Just because it's a hat and it's a baseball team, it doesn't mean it's got to have a good sell-through rate and good resale value. You got to look it up by the brand and the team and whatever, and get, so there's no, and I'm not saying you're looking for the easy way out. This is a good question. It's a smart question. But there's no pass and go. There's no collecting $200. You got to put in the work. You got to learn this. You got to look stuff up. So what's my prescription to you? Sounds like you're like earlier on in your journey. My prescription to you is to every day watch videos from resellers that you trust, watch what they're buying, watch what they're selling, right? Find people who seem like they know what they're talking about. And that takes some time too. Once you've identified those people, every day, watch some content from those people, take some notes, right? And then when you're in the thrift store, every day, look stuff up on eBay and find new things. So if you're learning while you're at the thrift store and then you're learning when you get home from the thrift store, then you're just going to learn every day. And if you learn every day, you add that up, crazy things happen. 365 days of learning every day. Next year, November the 10th, 2026, you're going to have so much knowledge accumulated that you're going to spend less time looking stuff up at the thrift store. But the goal isn't to stop learning, and the goal isn't to stop looking things up at the thrift store and to stop watching videos of other creators, but you maybe have to spend less time looking stuff up and less time watching content. I don't watch a lot of reselling content at this point. I watch a little bit, but when I got started in 2018, I watched a lot of that content because my knowledge was so low. So anything I could learn was great. I took screenshots of bolos I used to watch Hustle at Home Mom, and I used to watch Ready, Set, Resell. They both make content. They're both full-time resellers. They're both OGs. And I watched Ready, Set, Resell and Hustle at Home Mom. And I would just take screenshots of things that they were showing me that they sold. And I'm like, I've never heard of that brand. I'm going to take a picture of it, screenshot it, and I have it there on my phone. And sometimes I would jot down like little lists and have them in my pocket on like little pieces of paper of like things that I want to look for at the thrift store that are new to me. But I had a whole folder in my phone of bolos that I took screenshots of watching YouTube, because 2018, there was no short videos. It was all YouTube. So, there was no Instagram Reels, there was no TikTok and all that stuff. So it was screenshots of YouTube videos. That was it. And I had a whole folder of bolos from Hustle at Home Mom and Ready, Set, Resell. Those were the two that I identified. And there was a guy that I forget his name that was really good with suits. I forget his name now, but that's how I learned. And I just took those screenshots and I had them in that folder on my phone. So if I find something, I'm like, is this that brand that Hustle at Home Mom mentioned, or that Ben from Ready, Set, Resell was that? No, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. It was a similar brand name, but different. So, that's what I did. And so I don't know any other way to teach it except for the way that I did it. And there's so much content out there now. There's shorts. It used to just be YouTube, if you're having trouble keeping your inventory clean while using Nifty delist, we list from Nifty, then sell eBay, and then resync on Nifty and cross post much less. Got it. I don't know if I'm following that 100%, but it sounds like good advice from Mariah right there. How many items do you currently have listed? Like 1,400 and change. I can give you an exact number if you want. I haven't listed yet today. I've had my biggest and best weekend since I started last year. Let's go, Stephanie. I still learned and still learn. There you go. It's the most important metric. I'll take a good weekend of learning over a good weekend of sales any day, because that's an investment in the future for a lot of good weekends. But I like your good weekend of sales. I think we're on the same page. I'll take both. I'll take a good weekend of sales and a good weekend of learning. How about that? I think we're on the same page, though, Stephanie. I have a BOLO folder on my Facebook to help me remember. There you go. It's a lot of information to remember. You got to have a way to like store it and access it very simply. I have 1,420 listings and for a total quantity of 1,608 items in inventory because I have some multi-quantity listings too. Let's ship some stuff out. Good conversation, y'all. I'm hoping to close in on 1,000 this month. Let's go, GG. You can do it. Yes. All right, let's ship some stuff out. We're talking. We're flapping our gums. Got an order for Ralph. What the heck did Ralph get? He got a North Face. Nothing fancy here. This is a modern North Face tag right there. Men's size medium. Little lightweight fleece. This thing weighs in at 8 ounces. So just a very lightweight fleece. It's got the contrast pocket right here, like contrast color pocket with a little zipper right there on the chest. So a little chest pocket. It's black. Cool looking piece. This is going to Framingham, Mass. I got family in Framingham. I think my cousin still lives in Framingham, if you care. This is going to Framingham. Sold for $26.99 to a $5 pickup at the thrift store. This is like that really mass-produced North Face. This is the type of stuff that you would find at Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Nothing fancy, but it's a nice piece. But there's a lot of supply of this kind of stuff out there. Those big box stores are all across the country, in every metro area. And like Macy's, they sell North Face at Macy's, at Dillard's, at Dick's Sporting Goods, at some of those other sporting goods box stores that I can't think of right now because we don't have them in our area. But very common North Face here, so not worth a lot of money. Coming up, I got a North Face that's worth a lot of money that we're going to get to here in a few minutes. So North Face still makes really high-end stuff, like stuff that people wear for hiking, climbing, skiing, whatever. Stuff that's got to keep you cool, got to keep you warm, dry, and alive in a lot of cases if you're doing some, badass outdoor stuff. And they make high-end stuff. Summit Series stuff is still high-end, but they also sell way more of their like lower ends, just like box store sort of stuff. That's what businesses do. You have the high-end stuff. It sells really well, and you're like, well, wouldn't it be cool if we like quadrupled our sales? Let's sell some mid-end stuff. Let's sell some low-grade stuff, and let's get that stuff out to all these box stores so we can just have it everywhere. So that for resellers, once a company does that, like North Face did this like 15 or 20 years ago, they blew up. So we've had 15 or 20 years of just high volume sales of all this mid and low grade stuff from North Face. So there's just so much supply of this stuff out there. It means you're going to find it a lot at thrift stores too. But it also means when you list it on eBay and Poshmark, you're going to have a lot of competition. And that's what happens. And all these brands like Lululemon, we're sort of seeing that happen. They got really popular. Their distribution went out to all these big box stores and stuff. And now they've been selling a lot of Lululemon now for 10 years. And now there's a lot of supply out there because you have 10 consecutive years of a lot of sales of Lululemon. So supply goes up. Demand is probably about the same as it always was. People still love their Lululemon, but the supply is so high, and it'll get higher every year, right? Because there'll be more and more of it produced, more and more of it sold, right? More and more of it donated, etc. So even if demand stays the same, which it probably will, I don't see Lululemon really falling off. I think it's got some legs. It still means resale value is going to go down and sell-through rate's going to go down. And that's what happens. And that's what happened with North Face. That is what's happening with Lululemon. It is what will happen with Vuori eventually. That's just the way it is. Once Vuori's big for 5 or 6 years in a row, there's going to be a lot of Vuori out there, and you're going to see resale value come down. It's not because Vuori necessarily is going to be in less demand. It just means the supply number is going up, and it's going up every year, and that's how it works. And you find more and more of it at thrift stores, but then you have more and more competition. I put the wrong shipping label on that one. See, I caught it. Why did I put the wrong shipping label on that one? I got out of order. Because I had to twice print my eBay labels because it errored out halfway through. So I got to be extra careful today. So what did I just put that? We will figure this out. I think it's this one. That's on the other page. Yeah, I got out of order because of that stupid hiccup from the eBay bulk shipping page. Nice. I thought I missed the stream. You're here just in time to watch Chris rip open packages and relabel them. Yeah, so this right here is going for Ralph. Sheesh. A few times the item is still in my solds. Like, how did that happen? Hate sending that message. If you guys aren't sourcing on YouTube auctions, you're missing out. Interesting. I have serious issues with stuff getting relisted after it sells like 10 to 12 times in a few years. Crazy. That's interesting. I've never picked up blazer sport coats until I heard you talking about them. I picked up 2 blue with gold buttons, a few wool blazers, and a brown corduroy on my last trip. I have them photographed in the queue to list this week. Thanks for the tip. You're welcome, Tammy. Hope you get some quick sales on those. It's a good time of year to sell blazers. So let's see. Hope you have a great day too. Sorry if I missed you walking out. How do you end and sell similar to refresh listings on eBay while using Nifty? Awning, you'll just turn on, you'll go into your Nifty settings right here. We'll just do like a quick little demo. Share screen, Nifty, boom. All right, this is my inventory right here. Cricut, this is the last thing that I listed. If I go to my dashboard, this is where all the automation is happening, right? So you asked about eBay, delist, and relist. So I'm going to scroll down to eBay. We can see the offers here is turned on. It says we are automatically offering on eBay throughout the day. Nifty has sent 29 auto offers for me today. And then right here it says we have finished recreating on eBay and it will resume tomorrow morning. So it recreated 38 items. So all you're going to do is you're going to click on update your settings and you're going to turn your settings on right there. And then it will automatically do that for you every day. Quick and easy. So dashboard, go to recreates. That's what you're looking for right there. And then you'll never have to delist and relist an item again. You can do that, by the way, on Poshmark also, and you can do that on Mercari also. You can see it's relisted 35 on Mercari there. Hope that helps. And let's turn that off. Let's sort this out. So Ralph, this is the joys of talking, shipping. I got an offer on Poshmark. Let's see, Ralph. So Ralph, that's part of the reason, by the way, you'll hear me say people's names and stuff out loud. We were talking earlier about how not to mess up shipping labels. I say them out loud. I'll tell you the customer's name and where they're from. That's a system that I've built in that helps me make fewer mistakes with this kind of stuff. So when I talk about building in systems to make sure, like if you find that you're making a certain mistake on a regular basis, you've got to create a system or a process to get over that. And one of the ways I do that is by telling you who bought these items. I think it's interesting to know where they're going, but it's really a tool to help me make fewer mistakes and to help me catch my mistakes when I inevitably make them, because I'm a human, I'm an airhead, it's going to happen. And we just made one right there. And I have a feeling there might be a couple because of that eBay glitch that caused me to have to print my labels twice this morning. I bet you got me out of order. So Ralph is good to go. Yeah, this one too. I'm gonna have to double check. I'm gonna have to rip it open just to double check. I think this one's wrong too. NRC should. What did I miss? Sorry if I missed some questions and comments. There's a lot of stuff coming in, and I am trying to clean my act up over here. I already got to that one. Nice. I thought I missed a stream. I got to that one. October was been phenomenal. November looks to be just as good, if not better. Let's go. My October finished really strong too. It was looking like it was going to be kind of a soft month, and then the last like 10, 12 days were really, really strong. Okay. So this I messed up too. Boy, that would have been all kinds of fun. So this is going to Brian in Lexington, Kentucky. So here's Brian's thank you card. And I'm going to have to reprint Brian's label. So Brian in Lexington, See, now you know the secret between me announcing people's names and where they're from. It makes sure that the right shipping label that's ultimately gets on the right package. Thank you, Brian. So Gigi, are you still here? Does that mean, are you still doing that full-time gig? My guess is yes. All right, so let's double check another one here. So this should be for Dawn. I have like 2 different shipping screens going because of this this fun stuff. Okay, I'm gonna reprint David's label. Got it. All right, so here's an order for David in Mayfield, Kentucky. We're going back to Kentucky. Carhartt piece right here. Little flannel shirt, men's size, medium. Nice little plaid piece. This sold on a nifty best offer. So I had it listed for $19.99. The buyer, David, from Kentucky. He came in and watched the item on eBay, and my cross-lister Nifty automatically sent him a 10% off offer 10 minutes later. Closed the deal. So for $18, an exact 10% off offer. So thank you, David in Kentucky. You got you the right item coming your way. Don't you worry. It might look goofy sometimes, but we usually get it right in the end. I am here, and yes, all I do is work. I come home from my job, I eat dinner, and then I work until 8, 9 o'clock. Hustling over there, and weekends too. I would love to get into whatnot. I simply do not have time. It's a big commitment of time, for sure. I agree with you on that. I don't even have time to do social media anymore. I hear that. I get that. It sounds like you got a good little rhythm over there, and I think that's the most important thing. I did have 8 returns in 2 months. It was slightly frustrating. But I had to remind myself the sales have gone up. So unfortunately, returns, it's a percentage of your sales will be returns. For me, it's about 3% on eBay is returns. So if I do double the sales, I'm going to get double the returns. That's the way it works, especially when you get like a really busy couple of weeks. You get like one of those bursts. It just feels like your returns go way up. But in reality, it's just because your sales went up. So you know, the 2-3 extra returns just feels like a lot. Oh, that coffee's good. All right, next up, see if I'm back. Am I back in action here? I think so. I'm going to save these over here just in case. Just in case, but I think we're back in action. Got an order for Dawn. Dawn's in Guntersville, Alabama. Here it is. And he got a Johnny O. See how like deliberate I'm being now? I'm like so worried about making a mistake. All right, Johnny O right here. We'll take your name off here. This is called the Sully Performance Quarter Zip. I know that because there is a style number on the inside tag, like the one that's like down here. I looked up it's where it says like the content, like the cotton. This one's a cotton modal blend. And it has a style number on there. I Googled that style number. I found a new listing for Johnny O on some retailer's website, and they called it the Johnny O Sully Performance. So I put that exact item title into my item title. That way I can lure in a full price buyer who's looking at this Johnny O piece probably for like $90 or $100. And they Googled it. They're looking for a good deal, and they found my eBay listing. They came in, $22.99, done deal. Those are the best buyers. If they come through, they're looking at the new tags version for $90. Your $22.99 looks freaking awesome. And they may not have even looked at another one from another seller. Again, they're not necessarily an eBay buyer. They are a new tag, like a Google shopping buyer, and came in and maybe didn't look. You might have had this same one listed and they didn't even look at it because they came in through that door. The best types of buyers. They don't haggle on price. They don't ask a billion questions. They're just like, that is a steal of a deal. It's going to be a good customer for you. What did I miss? Welcome in, everybody. If you're just jumping in, we're shipping out eBay, Poshmark, and Amazon orders. We're right in the teeth of eBay orders right now. We got some really good stuff coming your way too, like some bread and butter sales, some kind of shocking sales, and then some really high dollar sales still to come. So welcome in. If you haven't tapped that like button, that helps me out. Just tells people that you're having a good time here. And in YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, we'll invite more people into the conversation, which is fun. And if you have any questions, drop them down below in the chat. If you have sales that you want to share that you're excited about from the weekend, I want to hear about those too. It's a great way to teach and share too. So drop those down below in the chat. I love hearing about your sales, and I hope things are going really well in your end. This is for Jonathan. He's in Auburn, Alabama. Little bread and butter sale right here. Polo Ralph Lauren. This is a fall classic pattern right here. This shirt has a little fade to it. I mentioned that in the description of this item too. And $18.99 on a classic fall pattern. That was on a best offer going out to Jonathan. Going out to Jonathan. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. If you're new to this stream, we do this every single Monday, just a good, honest glimpse into our business. This is going to, sorry, Jonathan, this one. Good, honest glimpse into our business. So this one sold for $18.99. I paid $5 at a thrift store. So my profit on this is going to be like razor thin, like a $10 profit on this piece right here. But I can find Polo Ralph Lauren constantly. I've sold over 400 Polo Ralph Lauren pieces. Good, consistent seller. If it's got a pony on the chest and it's $5 or less, I'm probably going to pick up the Polo Ralph Lauren. Even in a size men's medium in this case, and even with a little bit of fade on that item, I still pick them up. So out the door on this one, like a $10 profit on an $18.99 sale. We got an order for Aaron. This was a nice fast one. This sold in 3 days. I just picked up this Eton shirt. 5 at the thrift. Eaton. So common knowledge in reselling, especially men, well, both men's and women's, is that bigger sizes sell a little bit better. This one is a size 38 euro. A neck size 15 and a US size small. If you look up Eaton dress shirts and you sort it for size 15 neck, the sell-through rate is higher than if you look for size 17 neck. So 17 is more like a large to an extra large, whereas 15 is a small. Most of the time, people would guess that the large or extra large is going to have a higher sell-through rate than the small. But in some of these brands, particularly these Euro, like high-end Euro brands, like Eaton, the smaller sizes can actually have a higher sell-through rate. So I think the sell-through rate for 17 was 39%, and for the 15, which is a small, it was 46%. So a little bit higher. And a lot of people probably would have passed on this because it's a size small. But for me, it sold in 3 days. For a best offer, this was a nifty best offer, $27. I had it listed for I had it listed for $29.99. $29.99, 10% off offer. Took 3 days to sell. Eaton. This is going to Aaron in Carlsbad, California, going clear across the country from Asheville, North Carolina, all the way out to Carlsbad, California. The shipping label on this is going to cost me $5.37 because it's an 8-ounce rate, USPS Ground Advantage. A lot of people complain about shipping, but for clothing, it's really not all that much money most of the time. $5.39. That's it. You were 100% right about that. If someone asks more than 2 questions, I just blocked them at this point because they're going to be problematic buyer in my experience. There you go. I don't disagree with that. All right, out the door for Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Next one up is for Dave. Dave is in. So this one is probably one that a lot of you would have passed. And actually, you probably would have been right if the price is like $8 or $10 for this particular item. It is a Columbia. I buy and sell a lot of Columbia. It's usually low dollar flips, like not high profit. But if you're picking up in-season Columbia, it can sell pretty quick sometimes too, especially if you price it aggressively. So I just picked this up. It is a Columbia women's fleece vest. I paid $3 for it at a mom and pop thrift store. And therefore that allowed, because I had a low buy cost, I'm like, I can price this aggressively. I priced it at $19.99, even with a low sell-through rate on this item because there's a lot of supply. It sold quickly for $19.99. I'll tell you exactly how many days it took to sell. Bear with me. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Whoa, how many days were you, Colombia? Remember that time that I found a Colombia? There it is. It took 11 days to sell. 11 days to sell on this at $19.99. So after eBay's fees, I'll tell you exactly how much I made on this. Let's get exact. So eBay charged me $4.23 in fees on this. So that left me with $18. I paid $3. So subtract that from the 18, and that means I made $15 profit on this. Is that right? I did, because I made a couple bucks on the shipping too. So $15 profit on this. After I charged $7.95 for shipping. The shipping label only cost me $5.71. So that's where I got a couple of the bucks from. So $15 profit, 11 days. Who wouldn't? Is there somebody out there who's not going to pick up this fleece for $3, knowing that you could sell it in 11 days for $20 and make a $15 profit after all fees and all that? And I know people will say, like, well, what about shipping supplies? These shipping supplies all together, shipping label, thank you card, sticker, all that, it's going to cost me 15 cents. This case, actually a little bit less because I'm using these free eBay shipping supplies that I get with my quarterly coupon. So thank you, Dave. $15 profit. A lot of people would come into like a video that I'd post about a $15 profit flip, and they'd be like, I wouldn't get out of bed for $15, or I wouldn't move for $15. I get those comments all the time. It's like, yeah, but what if you sold 350 items that made you $15 a piece? What's the math on that? And you did that this month. That's a pretty good little business right there. 350 times 15 equals, that's $5,250 in profit. You do that 12 months a year, you're looking at a $63,000 business just from selling some $15 items. Now, thankfully, we sell some items that make us more than $15 too, but that's the math of it all. A lot of people say, why are you messing with these small margin items? I don't know. If it works, it adds up. And I like it, by the way. I block people return items for it. I include measurements. I don't want them buying from me again. I feel you. Columbia actually sells pretty good. Of course it does. Of course it does. If you pick the right Columbia and if you price it right, Columbia will sell. Yeah, and you made that money in your underwear. It's true. I am wearing underwear today. I am. Thank you for noticing. I don't know how you noticed, but I appreciate that you noticed. We'll just leave it at that. Next up is an order for Steve. Here's another item that I think a lot of people would have passed on. I almost passed on it, to be honest with you. But it's a brand new tag Wrangler. It's like low-end Wrangler Sherpa fleece. Like, it doesn't feel like a really nice piece. You can tell it's like lower-end stuff. I found 8 of these at the thrift store. They were $5 a piece, brand new with tags. I grabbed all 8 of them. I thought about it a little bit, but I grabbed all 8 because I love multi-quantity listings, so it makes it nice and easy. I think I had to make 2 total listings for these because there was a couple different sizes. So I bought these in the spring thinking that I would have to wait till October or November for these to sell. I sold 3 of them to one customer in June. I was like, well, that's crazy. And then in July, like the 4th of July week, I sold another one of these like big fleeces. It's size 2 extra large. So 4 of them out of the 8 sold before I figured any of them would sell. I figured they would all sell like October, November. Well, I hoped they would all sell in October, November. So this is the 5th one to sell. This is the first one to actually sell in the fall. The other 4 are sold in the middle of the summer when it was probably like 90-something degrees. It's weird how things work sometimes. So people ask me all the time, like, when you find fleeces like this in the spring and you don't think that they'll sell until October, November, do you wait till October, November to list them? And I say, no, I just list whatever's in that pile. And if I have a whole bunch of summer stuff and it's the summer, I'll probably focus on getting those things up. Like, I'm not crazy. I get it, but I'm just going to list whatever's in that pile. And I'll start with the short sleeve stuff first, but I'll list this stuff too. And that's why, because I sold 4 of these in the middle of the summer. Go figure. So now I only have 4 of them left for the cold weather season. Well, after this one, I'll only have 3 of them left for the cold weather season, and I'll be sold out of them, which is great. Multi-quantity listing is sold for $21.59. That was on a nifty best offer. And this is going to some town in New York that I cannot pronounce, so I won't try it because I don't have to, because I don't want to. I flipped a few items I found in the dumpster at my apartment complex. There you go. I have stuff like furniture pieces, like there's a lamp in our bedroom that's got an owl on the base of it. I found that in next to the dumpster at my apartment complex. Like I was just taking out the trash, and I was like, "Oh, it's a nice looking lamp with an owl on it," and we grabbed it. And that was when I lived in Colorado. Probably grabbed that like 6 years ago, and it's still a lamp that's in our house. So free lamp. Get some other stuff. There's a little side table. Same thing. It's like in our living room. It's like this tiny little side table. It's really not that nice, actually. It's kind of a piece of junk, but grab that same thing next to that same dumpster. I was like, well, I could use this side table, and we still have it. It ain't pretty. It ain't perfect, but I can rest my coffee on it, and that's fine. This is going to Steve. $21.59. I paid $5 for it. Again, multi-quantity listing. 1 round of measurements, 1 round of photos, set the quantity. Well, I think it was actually 2 listings. So set the quantity to 4. I had to do 2 rounds of photos, 2 rounds of measurements. Set each of those listings to 4, and that's 8 items listed in no time. And now they sell. It takes me a minute or so to pack these up. And there it is. Hope everyone's off to a great start to your week. Hope you had a good weekend. I want to hear all about your sales down below in the chat. So if you had a cool sale from the weekend, I want to hear about it. If you found something cool, I want to hear about that too. I also want to know, like, what's your high temperature today in your neck of the woods too? I know we got some cold weather all the way down here in the south too. I know a lot of the country got some snow through the Midwest and stuff too. So if you want to talk about that, I'm here for it. Order for Rod going out the door. Rod. So this is an interesting item. I think there's a lesson here. So I picked up a couple of these. The brand is called Cotton Traders. It's a rugby shirt. You can see on it says Wales, and it says Rugby World Cup on it. So I picked up 2 of these at the same thrift store. Never seen this brand before. I looked it up, and I was like, okay, it's selling pretty decent. So I listed those 2 items. One of them, the first one, sold in 1 day. That was back in the spring. This one took 7 months to sell. Found them the same day, same brand, 2 different colors. They were both the same size, and they had like a different, one was Wales, one was something else. Cotton Traders. Now, this one sat for 7 months. I hear this from people all the time. They say, I bought a certain brand. It sat around in my store forever, so now I never pick up that brand. And I encourage you to learn through the experience of reselling. Like, see how long things take to sell. See what kind of offers you get. I suggest that, but I don't think we can overvalue one item. Like I had that first one that sold in a day. So I could have then just said, look, I'm going to pay up for all Cotton Traders because I found one and it sold in a day. So therefore all Cotton Traders is going to sell really fast. That's easy to, it's like an easy assumption to make, an easy conclusion to come to, but it is a lazy conclusion to come to. One sold in a day, one sold in 7 months. What is that? It's 210 days. So, and then what's the average of that? Well, it's about 3.5 months. So that's probably about what Cotton Traders is. It's something that you can buy it and you can expect to sell it in like 90 or 100 days. Some of them will sell faster. Some of them will sell slower. That's the reselling world. But don't sign on and sign off of entire brands based on one item selling or fast or one item selling slow, right? It's a little bit more nuanced than that. And once, you have experience, if you had 10 units of an item or of a certain brand and all of those sold really fast, okay, then you're onto something. But one, you just can't make those decisions. And I hear it from people all the time, or I have somebody messaged me yesterday. They said they have 3 Polo Ralph Lauren items in their store for over a month and they haven't sold. So they no longer pick up Polo Ralph Lauren. I'm like, well, hold on a second here. What? Over a month is not long, first of all, in this world. And number 2, you're going to make a decision about probably the most popular brand in the world, maybe one of the most popular brands in the world. You're going to make a decision on your experience over a month and a half with 3 items from that brand, and they might not even be good items. The person might have picked bad Polo Ralph Lauren. They're not everything from every brand is going to sell equally. Anyway, I think there's an interesting lesson here that, don't let one experience with a brand, make sweeping decisions about that brand in the future. Look at the data. What is the sales data telling you on eBay? And what's your experience with 4, 5, 6, 10 of those items? But 1, 2, 3, I don't know. I think that's crazy. I've sold 2 cotton traders. Little rant from me. This is going to Rod. Rod is in Sancho Cordova, California. So we're going coast to coast again. Asheville, North Carolina, all the way out to Rancho Cordova. $7.45 on the shipping label. It's going out at a 2-pound rate. They're weighed in at like 1 pound and 8 ounces or something like that. Nice, like heavy rugby shirt. There were also 2 vacuum cleaners that only need new belts. I'll put those on Marketplace this week. Nice. I like your hustle over there, the dumpster hustle. I like it. I found a Charvet men's shirt over the weekend for $3.69. Great. I love that. That's awesome. Good find. 52 today. No snow. I like that. I'll take 52 right now. We are nowhere close to 52. Wind chills 19. High of 32 and 2.5 inches of snow in Michigan. Got it. That sounds cold. We're, I think, like 36, but 0 inches of snow. Up in the high peaks, they're getting a lot of snow. Like over, say, 5,000 or like 5,500 feet, they're going to be looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow. Not far from here. I mean, we're talking about Mount Mitchell is less than an hour from here. The Smoky Mountains, as the crow flies, is probably about an hour from here. Those people are going to be seeing 8 to 12. And actually, there's some mountains closer to us, like in the Pisgah area, and that are, as the crow flies. I mean, I could see Pisgah from around the corner. That's how close it is. They're going to see, 8 to 12 inches. Which is kind of crazy. That's a lot of snow for down here. But we're not going to get, down here in the valley, we're not going to get snow. Some of the valley, very, very close to the mountains, will get a little bit like a dusting, but we're not supposed to get any precipitation here. I guess the way the storm's coming in, it's like all the precipitation is just going to drop at the mountains, and that's basically it. It's not going to go anywhere else, from what I understand. Why that's true, I don't know. The mountains cause some interesting weather phenomenons for sure. Nathan is getting this Carhartt. This is a Carhartt Force. Big, heavy. Is it a full zip? No, it's a quarter zip. I'm sorry. And it's got a kangaroo pocket in the front. So it's like a big, heavy sweatshirt, men's size 3 extra large. This sold for a best offer $24. This is going to Nathan in Ellisville, Missouri. I'm going to use one of these bags. Kind of a bigger piece right here. Big, heavy piece. This is going out at a 2-pound rate, $6.73 on this one for the shipping label. It's going USPS Ground Advantage. Thank you, Nathan. Still got a couple Amazon sales. We still have the next 2 items are my best 2 sales of the weekend, where we are at that moment. And they were the ones that came in. One came in late last night. One came in first thing this morning, and they are heavy hitters. It's a good sale right here, though. I paid $5 for this. It sold for $24. So my profit after fees would be about, I made a couple bucks on shipping too, so that's actually pretty nice. So we'll call it, it's going to be about $17 profit on this because of the little bit that I'm making off. Yeah, 16, 17 bucks. So not a bad sale right there. A little Carhartt, nice, big, heavy. With Carhartt's one of those brands, like the heavier the better. Big, heavy sweatshirts, those double knee pants, jackets, obviously the Detroit jackets and all that stuff, but heavier the better for a lot of brands, but particularly for Carhartt. The lighter, usually the cheaper. People want that like heavy workwear, keep them warm, especially this time of year. Same here in Central. Nice. 59 today in Houston, abnormally chilly. We would kill for 59 right now. We don't really care. I mean, we get a little cold weather. It's going to be back to 61 degrees, I think, by Wednesday, but we're going to have 2 cool days here. Way I look at it is that person is our competitor, and that's good for us. There you go. Yeah, the the Upper Peninsula got hammered yesterday. Did I get that right? I like Poshmark shipping. Very simple. Agreed. Very simple. Gigi says we're at 53 today, overcast, but that's about it. Yeah, we are, I don't know, it's like mostly cloudy, I would say. Is that the right term? Mostly cloudy. All right. Awesome sale right here. Back-to-back heavy hitters. We sold a North Face, kind of lower end North Face earlier today. It was like $23.99 for a little fleece. This is higher end North Face. So this is a puffer vest, goose down puffer, 550 fill. It's called the Alps is the model. How do I know that? Because I looked up the style number on the inside tag. I Googled that. I found a listing for a brand new one for a whole bunch of money. I listed mine for $64.99. If I had just looked up like down North Face vest, I'll see a range of these selling anywhere from like $35 all the way up to like, $65, $70, right? But when I zeroed in on that Alps 550 model, I was able to see that this is selling for more money. I listed mine for $64.99. I paid $12.50 for this at a thrift store. So it's really, really important to look up those model numbers. And if you care, the model number on this one is NF for North Face, NF0A3CR5. I just put that, I just wrote North Face in Google and then wrote that number, that NF0A, right? Put that in there. And that's how I figured out what the style name was. So that helped me make some extra money on this piece. It allowed me to it allowed me to comp the item better because I was able to see recent sales of this exact model. And then it allowed me, by putting that name in the item title, allowed the buyer to come find the right one that they're looking for. And this is another example of, this is probably somebody who was looking for this item on Google for full price. And they were probably seeing prices like $160 or something like that. But then they saw my eBay listing and they're like, I'm not really looking to buy used, but shoot, for $64.99 instead of $160, I'll take a peek at it. They find professional photos on my listing. They find measurements in there, a good description of the condition. And they're like, all right, seems like a reputable seller. I'm not normally a used clothing buyer, but to save $100 to buy this thing in really, really nice condition, I'm going to do it. And they don't even make offers, this type of buyer. They're just like, it's a deal. So they just buy it full price, and they don't ask any questions. And you get less returns from these people. And yeah, this is the type of buyer that I want. And it all comes from looking up that style number, finding the style name, and putting that into the item title. So I'm actually going to put this in a box because it wasn't going to add any extra. It wasn't going to add extra cost to the shipping label. So I'm going to ship this in a box. $65. These puffer jackets are really thin. It's a $65 plus shipping sale. So if I can ship it in a box and it doesn't cost me any extra money on the shipping label, why not? Shipping label is going to cost me $6.73 if you care. This is going to Hawkinson, Delaware. It's going to Mike. Thanks, Mike. Good pickup here. Way to buy used instead of new. Save yourself some money. I mean, this thing is in super good shape. All right. So my profit on that, I'll give you the exact number. I'll look at like the numbers from eBay and what eBay says about my fees and everything. So my fees on this are going to be transaction fees, $8.85. Shipping label, $6.73. Promoted listing fee is going to be $4.99. So after all of that, my total earnings are going to be $52.37, but I paid $12.50. So basically I'm going to make $40 profit on that puffer vest right there. And a lot of that money is because I took that extra step to look up the item, the style name by looking up the style number. Oops, I peeled off the wrong thing. I wanted one of these stickers, not that shipping label. Yeesh. It's going to be 88 degrees in Phoenix today. Yeah, y'all missing this cold Arctic blast. Y'all would not be psyched in Phoenix if you were getting this blast. Windy, cold for a couple days, but then we'll be back in the 60s on Wednesday. All right, next item, best sale of the weekend. And this is the one that came in last. It just came in this morning. I always ship in order. I don't purposely leave the best ones for last, but this is just the way it happens. So this is going to New, I think is their name. This is going to Chicago, Illinois. They are cold up there in Chicago. So no surprise, back-to-back goose down sales, that one late last night and one this morning. Your jackets, if they're not listed, you're late. You got to get those things up. So this sold on, I had this listed for $150. It's a vintage 2004. Don't come at me, yo. 2004 is vintage. Vintage 2004, the North Face Summit Series limited edition. I'm going to show you this puffer. It's all in the bag, so I can't really show it to you, but I'll show you I'll show you the screen, the listing of it, so you can check it out. It's worth it. It's worth it. All right, come on. Let's share the screen. Boom. Okay, there it is. So this is a men's size small too, which did make this a little bit of a slower sale. I picked this up in August, so figured I'd have a little bit of a wait time. Let me show you the tag. See how it says limited edition and Summit Series? Oop, come on. There it is. Limited edition Summit Series. And it says fall 2004. It even has a serial number, 0146 out of 1500. I don't know, Europe, I guess, but you want to look for that Summit Series. It also says Summit Series somewhere on the, yeah, it's got an embroidery right there on the sleeve. So really high-end North Face stuff. These jackets, if we look here, it's a 900 fill count. So the higher the fill count, right, is got to be the warmer the piece. So really, really awesome piece right here. I knew when I found this, I'm like, this is easily $100 jacket. It did have a patch on it. I'm going to show you. I would have got more like 200 for it. It was patched. So even with damage that was patched, and there's like a little bit of like, let me show you here. Thought there was another little flaw. Yeah. There's just kind of like some scraping. It's not really like a big deal, but see what I mean? So I just pointed that out, you know, a little bit there and a little bit there. And just pointed those flaws out. So this is a $200 jacket, especially if this is size like extra large or large and it didn't have those flaws. Looking at a $200 jacket here. And even with the flaws, it sold for a best offer of $110. So look for that Summit Series. Pretty crazy to find one. I mean, it's in really good shape for one that's 21 years old. And people typically, this brand new was probably a $600 or $700 jacket. Probably not back then, but nowadays, if you've got this, it's called like the Loops is the name. But 900 fill count Summit Series is probably going to be $600 or $700 brand new. So that's why people are willing to pay $200 or even more for a jacket like this, or $110 in this case, and one that's in a little bit rough shape. So crazy high-end North Face stuff. The person who's buying this is probably not buying it to like be warm, you know, on their walk to work tomorrow. They're probably buying this because they're going like doing some cold weather hiking or something like that, where they need something that's like really warm, really lightweight. Who knows? They're in Chicago, so maybe they need this to walk down the street. It's freaking windy there, but great sale right there. I paid, I think I paid $7 for that at a thrift store. So we'll look at my total profit on that piece. This is not your everyday find. This is not how I built my businesses on the back of giant fancy flips. It's boring flips. It's lower sale price items. It's smaller profits, but I pick up the big ones too. So all the stats on this, $110 plus $9.95 shipping is what the buyer paid. Take out all my fees. Transaction fees, shipping label, ad fee, take all that out. It leaves me with $86.99, and I paid $7. So I made $80 profit on this piece right here. But again, 35% of my sales make me $20 profit or more per unit. Only 35. The other 65% I make between $10 and $19 in my business. So these add up. You know, this $80 profit is great. It's like me selling, six or seven of my lower end items all in just one package. It's a beautiful thing. And it definitely helps, get an average sale price up and profits up and all that stuff. But this business is built on the back of low end items. And then as I'm looking for my low end items, I run into high end items, and that makes it all worth it. So this is like finding like 6 or 7 items in one, which is a beautiful thing. But again, I want to emphasize that, sometimes you get caught up on social media and you're like, this person finds all this fire, or like they find all the best stuff. No, they're just posting the best stuff. They're not showing you the other sales, the basic sales. They're just showing you the home runs, and that's it. And I try to show you a little bit of everything, because the reality is 50% of my profits come from $10 to $19 profit items, and 50% of my profits come from ones that are $20 plus. So I value low-end items the same as I value high-end items because it's literally half and half of my business. If I chopped off items that I was making less than $20 profit in, I'm chopping off literally 50% of the income from my business, like my take home after fees and all that stuff. So I love high-end stuff just the same as I love my low-end stuff too, because this is half of my profit is these bigger pieces, the $20 plus sales. And honestly, like $50 plus profit items, that's like such a small percentage of my business. It's just, but I'll pick them up. People think that when I share videos or posts about, items that make $12 profit on, they think all the items, I only pick up $12 profits and I skip these, is I think what they think, or maybe that's what they're telling themselves to make themselves sound smarter than I am or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just know, I want you to know that this is not what my business is built on. These are home runs that feel really good, but it's the low end stuff that the business is built on, because I spend time at the thrift store and I find a lot of the low end stuff and I run into this stuff from time to time and take it to the bank. I love it. But a little bit of a soliloquy there, but thanks for listening. I do accurate measurements, but why do I constantly get underpaid shipping fees added after delivery? I don't know. What sort of stuff are you shipping out that you're getting the added fees on? Yeah, are you weighing stuff? I'd really need like more information, I think, to be able to give you good advice there. Maybe your scale. Yeah, maybe your scale. I don't miss the Arizona heat. Yeah, I hear that. I'm not built for heat. I'm built for like 40 to 69 degrees. Even 35 I'll take, 35 to 69. That's my jam. That's a great find. It was. But again, I want to emphasize the low end stuff is the bedrock of my business. This is just the fancy fun stuff that sticks out that everyone sees. Does Nifty do I don't know if it does. I don't really use a lot of Nifty's analytics. I use analytics that are built into the reseller spreadsheet that I use. But I mean, maybe it does. I have to look real quick. I'd have to tinker around with it. I don't really look at the analytics in there, but it does have some really cool analytics. I don't want to poo-poo it. But I don't know if I could break that down like that. I'm not sure I could break it down like that. I think you'd have to just like do some math. I just did the math. I just used my spreadsheet and totaled up some things and played around and figured that out on my own. But I don't know. Maybe you could do it. I doubt it though. I doubt it has like a feature quite like that. It'd be cool if it did though. Let's ship this out. How about that? I also was able to put this one in a box and actually not have it cost any extra because I just looked at it. This was going to be a 2-pound rate anyway. And by adding the box, it wasn't going to put it over 2 pounds. I could put it in this box and it doesn't cost me any extra money on the shipping label. And since these puffer jackets tend to be, they're pretty fragile on the outside, like really thin nylon or probably Pertex on this one. But since the box is not going to cost me anything extra, I'll go ahead and do that and protect this $110 plus shipping sale. Thank you, New. New is in Chicago, Illinois. Cold up there today. Nice to end with a couple of bangers, but a whole bunch of bread and butter mixed in there. A couple of bangers makes it fun. We got a couple of Amazon orders going out the door. Thanks, Danny, I think. All right, we got a Smart Wool going out on Amazon. Smart Wool is a good seller on Amazon. Typically on Amazon, it's a lot of lower end brands that are really common brands like Columbia, Lee, Wrangler. Trying to think of some other examples. Even some like Izod and Chaps sells well on Amazon. It's those brands that everybody like buys. Those do really well on Amazon. It's not so much like the high-end brands that you're selling on Amazon. But in this case, Smart Wool does do well on Amazon for some reason. It's a higher end brand. The retail on this piece right here, it's like a women's base layer. It's probably $110 or $120 retail. And what did it sell for? Wait for it. It sold for $109.98. So I think this is $110. It might be $120 MSRP. It doesn't say it on here. Does it? Oh, it does. On the inside of the tag, $115 MSRP. So I sold it for $109.98. So that oftentimes happens on Amazon where you can sell at MSRP or close to MSRP. And this one did. So $109.98. I picked this up retail clearance. I paid $40. I don't know actually how much I paid for it. I didn't write it down. My guess is that I probably paid, I bought a bunch of these between $40 and like $64. I had bought a whole bunch of them all at once, multi-quantity listing and all that stuff. So I don't remember exactly how much I would pay for this one. We'll call it $50, kind of like right there in the middle. So paid $50, sold it for $109.98. That's what we'll do. And this is going to Kentucky. Amazon is definitely a different beast, y'all. I don't do a lot of teaching about Amazon because I just don't sell enough on there, and I haven't been on there long enough to feel like I'm a good Amazon teacher. There are people out there who are good Amazon teachers. Find them, follow them, get advice from them. But I'm just not. I just don't feel like I'm that guy. Anyway, nice sale here. $109.98. Not a ton of profit, but remember, Amazon, I don't have to take any photos. I don't have to take any measurements. I scan the SKU, I put in my price, I scan the UPC, I put in my price, and I add a SKU. And that's it. And it's done. And it's already in that plastic bag, which is nice because I bought it that way. Next up is a pair like this, like I said, like Lee. I sell a lot of Lee on Amazon. And this one sold for $34.98. The retail on this is probably around $50, so $34.98. And I paid $8 for this piece right here. That was a retail clearance pickup, so brand new tags, Lee. The process is you just find a brand new tags Lee, you scan it, you see what the sales rank is, you see what the current sale prices are for that item, you look at your buy costs, you see if there's profit there, and then if there is enough, you make the grab, you list it. You know, it takes like less than a minute to list something on Amazon, and obviously shipping clothing does not take long either. Ooh, I missed a whole bunch of stuff. I want to do this full time so I can quit my current job. How long did you think it would take for me to get there? Where do you get your medical? So it's hard for me to say how long it would take for you to get there. It would be like asking somebody like, how long will it take a software engineer to get to senior software engineer status? And you're like, well, kind of just depends on how good of an engineer that person is now. And then how much work do they put in? How hard are they working? You know, do they have good mentorship? Are they learning every single day? Are they being challenged by their supervisor and all that stuff? So, you know, it could take one person, 3 years to get to senior status. It could take somebody else 13 years. So I don't know how long it will take you. I'm just being honest with you. I know people would like me to just make up a number. I just don't know. And I don't know kind of like how much money you have in the bank, like how much debt you have right now, like what your financial situation is. I don't know how to, I just can't, what your financial goals are. How much do you need to make a year in order to go full time? Like, I don't know enough of those metrics, and I shouldn't know enough of those metrics. That's your personal finance stuff, and I won't ask you to share that here. So I don't know. It took me, and it depends on your goals. Like, how bad do you really want it? How much are you willing to struggle? There's so much to it. But you could go full time today, or it could take you 5 years. It just kind of depends on so many things that I just would never be able to know. So just being honest with you, I can't give you a number there. Where do you get your medical, dental, and vision insurance? My wife works full time, so I just go onto her insurance. So you obviously have to pay extra for that, right? But I go onto her insurance and we pay for that. and I hope you respect it. I'm not just going to give you a number there. Like I just, different people, there's so many different variables that I would just never be able to tell you. Plus the cost of insurance. I don't know what your options are. So it all adds up. Profit is profit. That's right. What's up, Lighthouse? How are you? Is Amazon a good platform to use for selling? I think all the platforms are good for reselling. Sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. We'll just say yeah. Girl Dad, I had this problem forever. My scale was off by a few ounces. Oosh, gosh. Eek. All right. We do have a couple of offers, I believe, that have come in. And so I think we have some more action. I shipped out everything that was done before we got started. Let's get some coffee. Let's check on the platforms and see what's happened while we've been busy. Okay. First, a couple of things. I have to tell you about this. People give me a hard time for not talking enough about the coffee. We do have a coffee business too, by the way. And that's what you see behind me here on the rack. And this is all fair trade organic coffee. It's roasted locally in Black Mountain, North Carolina by Dynamite Roasting Company. They've won Western North Carolina's #1 coffee roaster 13 freaking years in a row. This coffee is primo. We offer a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast. This one right here is our medium roast. This is our best seller. This is our OG. It's Kim and I's favorite coffee. It has been for years. Even before we partnered with Dynamite, this was our favorite coffee. It's why we partnered with Dynamite. So we're really lucky to have that partnership. This is our Hooper's Creek medium roast. It is a very super balanced cup of coffee. It is going to have a hint of sweet milk chocolate, which is really typical for coffees that are from Central America. This is from Chiapas, Mexico, which is the southernmost state in Mexico, is right by the Guatemalan border. This is our favorite coffee. We love it. You can get it right now if you want, and I'll ship it out live right here on the live with a big dose of gratitude. If you're interested, if you like coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, and if you have a respect and appreciation for just a better than average cup, this is top shelf stuff. Fair trade, organic, and this one's actually single origin, which means all the beans come from one cooperative of coffee farms in Chiapas, Mexico, in the tropics at high elevation where all the best coffee is grown. So if you haven't tried our coffee before, we always recommend you start with the medium roast. Give that one a try. You won't be disappointed. If you are a light roast drinker and you know that, we do have a light roast as well. This is our seasonal fall light roast. Delicious, delicious, delicious stuff. That's from Guatemala. And then we have from Honduras, we have our Black Mountain dark roast, named after the biggest, the baddest mountain east of the Rockies. And after the town that's right below it. Black Mountain, the town, is right below the Black Mountain Range, which is the highest range in Western North Carolina, which is home to Mount Mitchell, which is going to get about 10 or 12 inches of snow. That's our dark roast. It's delicious. It's going to be it's from Honduras, a really complex blend of 3 different beans from Honduras. So you're going to get some creaminess. You'll get like a little hint of jammy fruit, but it's really just like this creamy body, a little bit of dark chocolate. It's not like your typical like really roasty dark roast, which you might be familiar with from some other roasters. This has got a lot of nuance. It's great for iced coffee. It's great for cold brew. And it's really great if you do espressos at home because it's just got some nuance to it. It's not just like dark, 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 roast like a lot of dark roast can be. I mean, fair trade, organic, and roasted fresh every single week. It just doesn't get better than this coffee. If you want to check it out, I dropped the link down there below in the chat if you're a coffee drinker. Check it out. If not, that's cool too. But I have to tell you about my business. We're proud of it. We love it. And I'm freaking drinking the coffee right here. This is a blend of dark roast and light roast. We blended them. I did about, I did 75% dark roast, 25% light roast, and I cold brewed it. So yesterday I made this, cold brewed it, let it sit overnight in the fridge, and added a little oat milk, and we are rocking and rolling. All right. And again, that link is right there in the chat. You can also find that link with all the information. You can read all about the coffees. If you want to geek out about coffee, go ahead and do that. I give you all those information, the elevation it was grown at, the varietals of the beans, all that stuff. If you like to geek out about it, if you have questions about the coffee, let me know too. I don't have any of that. I don't know what that is. My husband and I go on vacation in Black Mountain often. We will be there in 2 weeks for my birthday. That's awesome. Kim and I, so Black Mountain is like 30, the roastery is about 32 minutes door to door from us. The roastery is just outside of downtown Black Mountain. So we get up there quite a bit. any excuse we can get. We were actually hiking just last Tuesday. We were hiking Lookout Mountain, which is technically in Mount Treat, but right above Black Mountain. Then we went for dinner at Black Mountain. Our favorite place in Black Mountain is Trailhead. It's not a fancy place. Maybe you've been there before, Allison. But it's a good locals joint, good food, good little bar, and it's such a good value on their food. I think it's the best value in the area, like in the region, for like a sit-down restaurant. I mean, you're getting burgers with fries. They're like $10, $11, like with fries. It's great. The value is great. The service is spot on, and it's just like good local people. They've been there a long time. We love going to Trailside. It's not fancy. It's not fancy at all. Just a nice, like, comfortable place to go and have dinner. Maybe you've eaten there before. We were there on Tuesday. Do you have a cold brew how-to video? I feel like I made one at one point. It might have been a story. I don't think I have a video. I don't think so. I think I made a story about one like a while back. I don't think I saved the video. You know how stories like disappear. I do have our cold brew coffee maker. I can give you the direct link to that. It's super easy. You can just Google it, and it's kind of like a hard thing to mess up, if that makes sense. I'll give you the link to our cold brew coffee maker. It's super affordable. I like iced coffee, and for years I drank iced coffee. Like, I brewed it hot and then I put it over ice, and I thought that was delicious. And then we got this cold brew coffee maker like 6 or 8 months ago, and I was like, why did I not do this whole time? Yeah, it's $19. I'm going to drop the link here for you. $19, and it's super easy to do. Just Google how to do cold brew. You'll find some good, easy recipes for it, but that's the one that we make. That's the cold brew maker thingy majiggy. It's rad. That's my little coffee thing. Let's get back into some Poshmark. And again, if let me know if you do drop in an order. Sometimes I don't get the notification. Sometimes it pops up. Sometimes it doesn't. So if you put in your order at chris@peak.com or that link I just dropped, let me know, and I'll get your order shipped out for you right here on the live with a big dose of gratitude. I do have some offers. Let's take a look at them. Okay. First up. Oh, this is like kind of a no-brainer. All right, so I got this North Face 550 Goose Down. I told you, the jackets with this cold like weather coming through, like a big swath of the country. $27.99. It's a girls. If this would be worth a lot more if this wasn't girls, but girls 550. It also had like a couple stains on it, which I noted in the description and the title, and I did close-up photos of it. Anyway, the offer is for $25 on a $27.99 jacket. I'm gonna go ahead and absolutely accept that. That's going to go to Austin, Texas. Is it really cold today in Austin, Texas? So anyway, $25 out the door. Little girls, North Face 550 Goose Down puffer jacket. Love that. What else do we got? Got 3 other sales that came in when we were live, so that's cool. And we got another offer for a carbon to cobalt. So I have a carbon to cobalt piece right here, and that is listed for $20.99. I got an offer for $18. We'll go ahead and take that. So we'll accept that. So that's up to, I think that's 5 sales. Well, 2 right there, 3 while we were live. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 5 since we went live on eBay. So good start to the day. And then let's see what's happening over on Poshmark. 59 in Austin and Houston. I don't know. Maybe they're preparing for weather that's coming in. I'm not sure. Thanks for the weather update. And then we got a Poshmark sale or offer. Let's see. Got the live action sales coming at you. Oh, no, I don't think I have any new offers on Poshmark. Nope, nothing on Poshmark. So just the eBay stuff. I've sold almost 10 jackets total to Florida and Texas. Make me chuckle when I saw the address. Yeah, I get that. I'm the same way with that too. Thanks for being here. Do you remove stains if you see them? If I look at them and I feel like there's a good chance I can get the stains out without a lot of work, I will. If I feel like, I'm going to put a bunch of time into that and I'm not going to get it out anyway, then sometimes I just don't bother with it. I forget what happened with that North Face. I picked it up in the summer. I probably just looked at it and said, like, I'm not going to mess with this. It's probably not going to come out, so I'm just going to list it as is. If I send a counteroffer but wish I would have just accepted their offer, is there a way to message them? Their profile doesn't have a contact option. Emily, what platform are you talking about? Most people I know don't use a machine, so I'm always unsure of proportions in what grind to use. Most people don't use a machine, so I'm always unsure of proportions in what grind to use. Mariah, are we talking about? Okay, we're talking about the cold brew. So we grind our coffee at home. So our grinder goes from like 1 to 14. 14 would be the coarse grind, which is like the biggest, coarsest grind. And then 1 would be the finest grind. Like if you're going to do like an espresso or something, you'd probably put it at 1, 2, or 3. If you're going to do it in like a drip coffee maker, you're probably going to do it around like 6, 7, or 8, kind of a medium grind. And then if you're going to do the cold brew, we always do it around like 10 or 11, like even 9, like 9, 10, 11 in that range. So kind of like a medium coarse, like in between those two. And if we do a French press, then we're going to do it more at like 12 or 13 or 14, like that big coarse grind for the French press. So, but you can also, we've done it before. Like I accidentally actually yesterday when I made this batch, I actually left it on coarse ground because Kim had just done a French press for breakfast yesterday morning. And then I was making the cold brew and I forgot to change the grinder from wherever it was. I think it was at 13. I didn't change it down to like 10 like I typically would. And I didn't realize it until I finished grinding all the coffee. And I was like, oh, cool. I didn't do it right. But it doesn't really matter. Optimally, sure. That medium coarse would be great, but I did it with coarse and it's freaking delicious. So as far as the proportions, there's different ways to do proportions. I do 1.5 cups of coffee to 8 cups of water, 1.5 to 8. Some people say do 1 to 8. Some people say 2 to 8. I do kind of in the middle, but you can also do it like 2 to 8. And then you can have like, now you have concentrate essentially. So then you can like add a little bit of water to each cup, but I do it kind of like right down the middle. I don't add any extra water to it in the morning. When we make it, I make it so it's like perfect spot on. And for me, that's 1.5. But everybody's going to be a little bit different, and it depends on which coffee you're using, and it depends on your like own individual taste. But I do 1.5 cups of coffee to 8 cups of water. Hope that helps. But you could do it that way, and you could be like, oh, I hate the way it tastes, and you could do it just totally differently. So I usually do French press. We do a lot of press too. I have a 36-year-old biz that does $1 million in sales. I resell online for the fun, lucrative hobby. I love it, man. What's the main biz? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I'd be curious. That was talking about the cold brew. Yeah, I'm with you. I picked it up. It took me a minute. Sometimes it takes me a minute. Thanks for the info, brother, and happy November. Happy November to you, and you're welcome. Do you wash before you sell? When it's necessary, for sure. What did I miss? I think I got everybody. Emily says eBay. Okay, that's from the other question. Hold on, let me put this together. You asked about it. Yeah, you should be able to send them a message. I don't see why not. You might just have to play around with it and go into it, like maybe search for them, find them a different way. I feel like you should be able to send them a message. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. Custom awnings, very cool. Very cool. I like it. All right, let's go. I'm going to go grab these orders. First, I'm going to get some thank you cards made out. We got 5 extra orders. Well, I'll ask you. We'll see do you want me to go and pull these 5 orders that came in while we're live and ship those out? Or do you just want me to sign off from this thing and you're done with Peak? Give me a Y if you want me to stick around. Give me an N if you want me to go away. And it's that simple. You're the boss. But I do have 5 more orders to ship if we want to. I'm going to make some thank you cards while you guys deliberate about that. Want me to stick around? Say Y or yes. Want me to sign off for the day? Hit N. I'm easy. eBay bulk ship. So thank you cards going out, Paul. And if you get yourself a bag of coffee, let me know down below in the chat. I'll try to keep checking just in case I don't get the notification. I see some votes rolling in. Why? Let's ship them. Why? Okay. I'm just going to say, awnings, you didn't follow directions. Look at everybody else following directions. They're good little people. A lot of whys. Okay, thank you. I'll get some thank you cards made out, and we'll go ahead and get these shipped out. We'll get these shipped out. Don't you worry. Okay, order for Paul, order for Rhonda. If you're wondering about the thank you cards, this is what I give out in all my orders. It is a QR code that brings people to my website, chris@peak.com, and it just says thank you and business name, and on the back, I just do that. These cards cost me, I think, 3.5 cents a piece. I used a template off of vistaprint.com. I've been ordering business cards from vistaprint.com on and off, but I've been using them. I think the first order I got from them was in 2003. My first big boy full-time restaurant management job, wear a shirt and tie every day kind of job in 2003. That was the first time I ordered from Vistaprint, and I've been using them almost exclusively since. I did order before from another company called Moo. They're actually a good option too, but Vistaprint just, it's good, consistent quality, and their price is always really good. Moo is good too, but they're generally, I can usually get a better price from Vistaprint. So I've always been happy with the quality. I think they just do so much volume that they can just offer good prices. Nothing crazy, just a lot of bread and butter. Really, actually, there's one good sale in here too. I sold a pair of Stio, which I don't find very often. I don't think they distribute Stio on the East Coast as well as they distribute the brand Stio on the West Coast, I don't see it all that much. I don't see it in like stores new with tags, and I just don't see it in like thrift stores and stuff either. But that's a $40 sale. Let's go. All right, thank you cards are done. I'm gonna have to go out and pull these orders. So y'all are gonna have to hang out and talk amongst yourselves. That's funny. 5 orders. I have like 72 bins out there in the garage, and I have like 18 boxes in here where I store inventory. So 72 bins, 18 boxes. What is that? Like 90 places that items could be in. I just sold 5 items. 2 of them are in I8. So 1 bin. Each bin holds like 30, 35 items. So 2 of them are in I8 and 2 of them are in G1. What are the freaking odds out of 5 sales with 90 different places that these things could be? 5 sales. I'm only going to go into 3 bins total to get these sales. How does that even make any sense? This morning I took like 3 things out of J2. How the heck do you sell 3 things? When you have 72 bins, how do you sell 3 of them out of 1? It's just kind of crazy how that is it's a strange. Good morning. Good morning to you, Thrifting to Thrive. It's afternoon out where we are. What are you, West Coast? Where are you joining us from, Thrifting to Thrive? Thanks for being here. I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm not really taking a break, but you're going to get a break from me. I'm going to go outside to the garage. I'm going to grab these 5 orders. This will probably take me about 3 minutes, maybe less, because they're in 2 of them are in the same bin, or 4 of them are in this. Anyway, you get it. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Maybe get a sip of coffee. I'll be right back. Tell you what, that wind will get you. Get cold out there. This guy's a great teacher. Thanks, Awning. Appreciate that. It means a lot to me. No, it's afternoon. All right, 5 more sales going out the door. And this is the process. You'll get to see me weighing out all these items and all that. So I'm going to try to stay in order here. We'll start first with this Stio piece right here, pair of corduroys. It's a good outdoor brand to keep your eye out for. I don't know if you can see the logo. It's really small right there. $39.99. So full asking price on these. It's probably good to go out at a 2-pound rate. Yep. Next up is a North Face puffer jacket. This is a kid's one. Had a couple stains on it. I noted it. Took close-up photos with a pointer of the stains. Sold for a best offer just now, $25 while we were live. Next up, and that's going to weigh in at probably a 2-pound rate. It is. Next up is a Carbon to Cobalt. Kind of a mediocre brand right here. Kind of gone downhill some. Used to sell more in like the 22, 23, 24. Actually, I mean, going way back, 23 to 25. But now for me, it's more like the $18 to $21 range. So I had it listed for $21.99. Just took a best offer, $18 on that one. I paid $5 at a thrift store. That's going to weigh in at probably a 12-ounce rate. It is. And then next up is North Face. This is called the TKA 100 Microvelour Glacier Fleece. This is a low-end North Face piece, like a box store, like really lightweight fleece piece right here. Not a lot of money here, not great sell-through rate. Tons of supply of this out there. They probably sold this at Dick's Sporting Goods for the last 10 years. There's tons of supply of this. It's not even really expensive retail. This sold for $18. I paid $5 at a thrift store. This is probably going to weigh in at an 8-ounce rate. It does. So super, super lightweight fleece piece there. That is a women's size medium. There's, again, like we saw it today, there's high-end North Face, and then there's not so high-end North Face. Got a Polo Ralph Lauren, brand new with tags, men's size medium, Polo style shirt. We got the flesh pony, multicolor pony on the chest. That's probably going to be an 8-ounce rate. It is. So buyer paid $53.10 and it's plus $6.95 shipping. We'll make $2 on the shipping on that one. All right, 115, double check, 12 ounces, 8 ounces. We are good to go. So our shipping prices are ranging between $4.99 at the low end to $7.67 on the high end on these. This is round 2 of shipping. I'm printing those labels from the eBay bulk ship screen. I would have shared my screen and showed you, but it has people's names, addresses, and all that stuff. I try not to share that kind of stuff, but I try not to share that. I don't share that stuff. No, I don't try not to. I don't. All right, we're printing out those labels. So if you have like if you have a good organization system, you have things already stored in like clear poly bags like this, you have a thermal label printer. If you're building a business towards like you want to have like a 5-item a day side hustle, this shipping ain't going to take you very long to weigh all this stuff out real quick. You've got all your packing materials right here. It's just a few minutes, to pack and pack and ship 5 orders, So it's all about like getting organized, having the right tools for the job, and yeah, I mean, you could build a 5-item side hustle, 5 sales a day side hustle, pretty easily, and it won't take you a lot of time every day. Even if you have a full-time job, you can knock some of this stuff out. So here's that first one. This is going to Tom. Tom's at the North Face, and you got the right poly bags and all that stuff. Makes it nice and easy. So Tom, thank you, sir. Going to Rochester Hills, Michigan. Good afternoon. What's up, Nate? Rainy New Hampshire. At least it's not snowing. A lot of the country's getting snow. Kind of surprised y'all aren't, but I guess this cold swath is kind of more the middle of the country and not so much New England. Am I right there? high summits here, Nate, down here, like Mount Mitchell and like the high Smokies, they're going to get, like Mount LeConte and all that stuff, they're going to get 8 to 12 inches. We're not going to get any down here. It'd be the equivalent of you talking about Mount Washington getting, 10 to 12 inches and you getting nothing down where you're at, right? That would be pretty commonplace. Except we're a lot closer to those big mountains. Like as the crow flies, we're probably like 15 miles from some of the big ones here, to the west, and then to the north, like Mount Mitchell. As the crow flies, it's probably like 30 miles. So we're like pretty close to these mountains that are we'll be able to like look out and see snow-capped mountains tomorrow morning. And 8 to 12 inches is a lot. We don't get like when it snows at Mount Washington, you're getting a lot of snow. We don't get that down here. We're pretty darn far south. Next up, if you care, Nate. Next up is that the Polo Ralph Lauren. I already showed it to you. I won't show it to you again. Just a basic $110 retail cotton polo shirt. I pick these up all the time if I find them under $30 brand new, and they always sell. Sometimes some sell faster than others. You never kind of know. This is a men's size medium. This sold on a nifty best offer, $53.10. So Mazia came in and watched this item on eBay. 10 minutes later, Nifty sent the automatic 10% off offer. And it happened while I was live shipping. I didn't have to do anything. It was all just automated, hands-free, hands-off, whatever you want to call it. And we got the sale right there. In the e-commerce world, they call that an abandoned cart. Somebody had interest in an item, they put it in their cart, and they didn't cash out for whatever frickin' reason. And that's what that auto offers does, is it assumes that person's not going to buy the item because it's been 10 minutes. So it tries to recover that abandoned cart. And e-commerce companies spend a lot of money for systems that send you texts, that send you in-app notifications, that send you emails to try to recover that sale. And that's what Nifty does with that 10% off offer. It says, we want you back. Come on and get it. We'll sweeten the deal a little bit for you. And you can set it to be like 5% off or 7% off or 15% off or 20%, whatever you want to do. I just choose 10. It works, and I keep it that way. I've actually never tried another percentage, but you charge flat rate for shipping, ship through eBay or other shipper. And what are the categories, i.e. 1 pound shirt, $7.99? Got it. Yes, all my labels are printing through eBay, or if I'm shipping on Poshmark, they're all going through Poshmark. If I'm going through Mercari, they're all going through Mercari, right? And so I do shirts at $6.95. I do pants and hoodies and sweatshirts at $8.95. I do blazers and jackets at $9.95, and I do suits and like really heavy jackets at like $12.95. That's my breakdown. Do you source online or just at thrift stores? Both. If you're just starting out and don't have shipping equipment, can I just take them to the post office? Yeah, there's a way you can do like the QR code thing. I've never done it because when they came out with that, I had already had a printer, and so but yeah, I think there's a way to do like the QR code thing. Maybe somebody can explain it down below in the chat. I've never personally done it, but I think there's a way to just like do the QR code and then bring them to the post office after you pack them up. But I have the post office pick up all my packages out front every day, and I just print all my labels off my label printer. And really, these label printers are cheaper than you think. You don't have to get the big fancy ones. I've been using the same printer, an IDPRT, for when did I get it? I got it in 2021. So what is that? I got it in June of 2021. So 4.5 years I've been using this printer. I've put tens of thousands of labels through it, and it is a freaking workhorse. I'm going to get you the direct link to it. It might even be on sale right now. You could probably get it for cheaper than what I got it for. Let me get the link and just see what it's selling for right now. It's on sale for $75.99, which is actually, I usually tell people, like, when it's on sale for less than $90, grab it. Oftentimes it'll be on sale for $80. It's on sale right now for $75.99. So I just dropped the direct link to it right down there below in the chat if you want to check it out. $75.99, and then you never have to pay for ink. You don't have to go into the post office. You can just schedule your USPS pickup from home and save yourself time. But also the labels that you print out, they end up costing about 2 cents a piece. So I can give you the direct link for those labels too. To me, you're saving I did all the math before I had a thermal label printer, and I was like, man, by the time I print out on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, I'm using the ink from the ink cartridge, and then I'm using tape, like clear tape, to tape it onto packages. I was spending so much more for the labels. I'm like, I can just buy these for 2 cents a piece. The thermal printer doesn't use any ink, so I don't have to ever buy an ink cartridge again. Yeah, so your total cost is just 2 cents per package. I'll get you the direct link to the shipping labels that I order. I use off-brand shipping labels. You don't have to use the ones like from the printer company. They sell them. They're usually more. So you can get 500 labels for $15.95. They're 3 cents a piece. Sorry, I misspoke. 3 cents a piece for these labels right here. These are the same ones I order all the time. I have another pack. This is them right here. They come by the 500 little fan fold labels. So this is my backup pack. I usually have 2 backup packs, so I got to order one of those. I've probably bought 50 packs of those from that same company. Good, consistent quality and a good price. I'm going to post one of those printers soon. Picked one up at Goodwill for $7. Nice. Best investment we made. Yeah, anything that can get you back time is huge. But if it can like save you time and save you money because you're not buying ink cartridges and paper and all that stuff, it's a big deal, and tape and all that. As someone who gets a receipt when they drop off, don't be the QR person. Just get a printer like everyone else. Gotcha. I mean, people, the way I always tell people, do what you want, do it your way. I just share the way that I do it. And I've tried some different things, and I feel like I generally do things in a fairly efficient way. Being organized is very vital. Yeah. It is 50 out today. You're warmer than us, brother. You're welcome for the content, Nate. Appreciate your positive vibes. Always like having you here in the lives. I'm working up to a solid 4 to 5 items a day and growing, learning as I go. Love it, man. That's good. That's good stuff. I think I already got to that one. Hope that helps, Brenda. Best investment made. Okay. So next up is an order for Nils. This is those Stio corduroys. $40. I paid $5 at a thrift store. Good grab here. Nate, do you find Stio up in New Hampshire? I feel like Stio is a brand. I lived in New Hampshire for 31 years. I feel like Stio is not a brand, and I wore a lot of outdoor gear, did a lot of hiking, did a lot of skiing, did a lot of backpacking, climbing, that sort of stuff. So I know all these outdoor brands, but Stio is a brand I don't remember ever seeing up in the Northeast, like at Eastern Mountain Sports or REI or any of that stuff, but I don't see it too often down here either. I wonder if it's more of like a West Coast brand, because I feel like I saw it more when I was in Colorado. Anyway, these are going out to Nils. $40 sale here. After fees, let's see, $40. Probably pay like $7 in eBay fees. So that brings me down to $33. I paid $5. I made $28 off these corduroys. Pretty darn good. $5 investment. I got my $5 back, the initial investment, and I got $28 in profit after all said and done. Next up is for Rhonda. Again, this is that girl's puffer. Couple stains. Still a nice jacket. It's a $5.50 goose down. Sold for a best offer of 25 buckaroos. I think this is a $7 thrift store find. Not crazy profit. If this was women's or men's, or if it didn't have stains, any of those things would help me make more money off it. But it is what it is. Profit's profit. Out the door. Shipping a lot of, what do we ship? 3 puffer jackets today. All that cold weather. Where's this one going? Yeah, Austin, Texas. How weird is that? It ain't cold in Austin today, but maybe they're just seeing like all. That's the thing too, by the way. Like people seeing cold blast and Arctic bat blast, that kind of, sensationalist cold weather. I think that like gets into people's minds too, even if it's not cold where they are. It gets them thinking about like, I need a cold weather jacket, or my daughter does, or whatever it might be. So that's a thing too. And here's that carbon to cobalt. This is going to Paul. Paul's in Scarborough, Maine. Not far from you, Nate. Not too far anyway. $18 on this sale. I paid $5 at a thrift store. Probably a $10 profit on here. Yeah, I'll make $1 off the shipping label. Shipping label was $6. I charged $6.95. I paid $5.86 to USPS for it. And that's it. That's out the door. 5 more orders on top of what we shipped over the weekend. That's just what came in while we were live, which is kind of cool. Like that. Keep it rolling. I'm going to drop down below again. Some people are I know they're coming in, they're coming out. I'm going to drop our full list of recommended reselling supplies right there in that document. Everything we use for our business is in there, including the poly bags, including the shipping labels, including this desk. It's really neat that goes up and down. It's just like a Husky workbench. I have 2 of them, actually. All that stuff that we use for the business is linked down below there, including our coffee business, including the fun little tools we use to make excellent coffee at home. We have all that stuff linked in the document too, with descriptions. We tell you exactly what we use it for and all that stuff. So I'm going to log off for the day. Nice long live for you there today. Enjoyed spending some time with you. I had fun. I hope you did too. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't. If you haven't tapped that like button, I would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed or followed, we're Chris at Peak on all the platforms. And we put out content every single day. That means today there's content going out, including this too. So and again, if you're watching this on replay, I always get back to all the questions and comments there too. So just because you're not live doesn't mean you can't get that full experience too. We'll see you next Monday morning around 11 a.m.-ish Eastern time, but I'll see you a whole bunch of times between now and then because I'm going to share some photos and some sales and some finds and some flips and just some of that reseller life stuff that I think some of you will like too. So enjoyed spending some time with you today. It was a hoot. Yeah, thank you, Patty. Appreciate the positive vibes. Thanks, Julie. Appreciate that. Swiss with the positive vibes. Thank you. NRC, you were in here for a long time. A few of you were in here for a long time. So I appreciate all that. And thanks to everybody who's here live or on the recording.